What's up, brothers? This is BSP, baby. Welcome to the deal we talking about today, black taxes. All of us have been victim of black taxes, man, and we're going to get into that. But first, for those that don't know who I am, let me introduce myself here, because we may have some new viewers here on the BSP channel. So my name is Tony Berry. That's my real name. But I call myself BSP because it's my BSP channel here. Um, I am a retired software engineer. I was in the software engineering industry for 13 years. Took on various different roles of software engineering. Some people call me sometimes a full stack developer. At Intel, I was labeled as a software engineer. Just they may just call you developer. They may just call you a full stacker, whatever it is. So many different names out there, but the formal name of it is software engineer. So because we do a lot of different things, coding, was doing things with AWS, Azure, Microsoft, all kind of things I was involved in. So I retired last of January of 2023 was my last day of work. I will never work again for anybody. I've been happily retired. Right after retired, um, I went ahead and got my family ready to move to Japan. My wife is from Japan. I have two young children. Um, and last June, we moved to Japan a little bit over a year ago. Right now, everybody who don't know, I'm getting a house built here in Japan. I bought land next to the land that my father-in-law had ceded over to my wife and I that he had owned, and his family that his father owned and had built a house on. So we went ahead, we got the land, we tore the house down. I bought land, of course, next to that to build a bigger home. And the home is going to be pretty much almost the size as what I had in the States, which I had a big home in the States. I don't have to worry about a home in the States anymore. I've sold my home. We moved out in May of last year or June of last year, put the house on the market in May, moved out in June, had a buyer offer in July, closed in August. That's how quick that deal went in such a bad market. So we got lucky on that. Um, so yes, I'm living in here in Japan. I'm going to be applying for a permanent residence card here in a few years. Or next year, actually. I'm living here on a spousal visa. I have a just got a spousal visa extension. I came over here first on a 1 year spousal visa and then I just got my renewal for 3 years. So which now going to allow me to next year apply for a permanent residence. As I have no intention of ever moving back to the United States and building a home here in Japan. My investments in my whole life will be here in Japan going forward. I'm very happy here in Japan. This is a wonderful place to live. It's very safe. I don't have any issues. I've never had any issues. I have a total of over 11 years living in Japan, a total. So, to give you a little background on that, I was stationed in the Air Force at Okinawa for almost 7 years. So, my assignment, I got there in May of 85 and I left in March of 92. So that puts me at like 6 years and 10 months if I add up the total times. And then I went back to Japan a couple years later. I went to a place called Mie Prefecture. I taught there for 1 year. And then I moved to Osaka for 2.5 years. And then, of course, I moved all over, moved to Saudi Arabia for a few years. 4 years. I think I was there for 4 years. Yeah, I was there for 4 years. And then lived in Hawaii for 4 years, and then ended up in Seattle, where I stayed from 2005 to 2023, so 18 years there. That was my second stint in Seattle. I actually lived in Seattle a couple years ago, so I got 20 years in that zone. I met my wife when she was on the college break there from Japan. That's how we met. We've been married this end of this month. We'd be 17 years. So that's a little bit about me and my background here. I do this channel, my BSP, my Black Sophisticated and Prosperous channel, because I want to educate the brothers on what it's like living here in Japan, how successful you brothers can be in Japan, and I also want to talk to you brothers about the situation that you're in as well too, in your respective countries, whether you're in the U.S., UK, Africa, wherever you are in the world. So this channel will cover a lot of topics, but today's topics, brothers, today's topic is black taxes, okay, and how black taxes can kill. It can kill your finances. It can kill your dreams. It can, brothers. So let's get into this. So, I talk to a lot of brothers, man, all over the world. A lot of good friends of mine, brothers. In fact, I got a brother, Mufasa, who I hooked up with in Vancouver. And I want to also always give a special shout out to him and Vino Epps, Sean Davis, Sean Camp, the brothers up there. A lot of people I know. Brother Ghani over here, brother Deshaun Bailey out there in Saitama King Ghani up in Tokyo. Um, I just want to give a special shout out to the Jason Nelson, brother I know up there in Washington State, with a beautiful family. So Tyler George, my brother down there in Sandog, I want to give a special shout out to him. So if I and also give a special shout out to my cousins Billy Keys, um, you know Daryl Miles, Anthony Berry, my cousin Anthony Berry, who's my daddy's little brother's son. So we grew up together. Um, it's a lot of. If I forgot anybody right now, I'm just forgetting names right now. Sometimes, I'm just trying to remember everybody I got. But if I forgot, I got nothing but love for you. So I just want to give a special shout out to those. So here's the thing: black taxes. We've all been asked to participate in black taxes. Be on top of the stuff you have to pay for the government tax, the sales tax, the city tax, municipal tax, whatever they want to excuse, they want to call it, your card tax, your tag tax, everything. But we get that extra tax, and it's called the black tax. And the average black tax it could go as high as 20%, or more. And I'm gonna give you some reasons why I think it can go more than 20% of what you bringing home. So okay, first thing I got a list of things here, man, that I just wanted to educate the brothers or just kind of talk to the brothers. But I know you brothers have been through this. So the first thing you get that phone call, right, from your auntie. And your auntie says she can't pay electric bill, right? So now what does that have to do with you? Okay. Well, it has a lot to do with you in the sense from her view, is because she raised you, or not her, but your mama raised you as a black man, and a lot of black men in America have been raised in single parent homes. And so all by a mom who's telling us you don't mean nothing, you take care of the woman no matter what, you take care of your family's needs no matter what. Okay. They never tell us how to take care of our needs. They never tell us how to get financially sound with ourselves. They always so busy talking about, oh yeah, this is take care of her, take care of her, take care of her. All right. So the auntie comes up and she wants you to pay, she tells you she can't pay her electric bill. And you get that. And you can't do nothing about it. But a lot of people end up saying, all right, auntie, I give it to you. Here you go, I'll help you out. So your mom always need money for something. Mom might need money for meds, or your uncle need money for tires. You know how your uncle, right? So he'll come over with his wheels, pick you up. Hey man, let's go for a ride. You don't know, out of the blue your uncle show up, man. Hey, let's go for a ride, man. All right, uncle. Hey, I'm hanging out with my uncle. You know, and so he takes you out for a ride, and then the next week you get that call. Yo, what up, dog? It's your Uncle Joe, man. What up, baby? Hey, man. You know what? I need some new tires on my wheels, man. I know, you got that nice gig you got, man. Just lend me a couple $100, man, so I can get these tires in my car. That's gonna come out. So it's always an ulterior motive. Always. If something happened out of the blue, you gotta expect something. You gotta expect something. And I'm gonna tell you how to avoid all this stuff too. I'm just bringing up examples of black taxes. Another example, your sister. Some of us have more than one sister. I got two sisters. I got a one sister. I got a half sister. They need food for their three different baby daddies. My babies. Three different kids from three different baby daddies. Right. So they don't. They know you playing with them, or you either over at her house, you playing with the kids. You're like, yo, what's up? What up? What up? What up? And you're gonna ask the questions. Hey, what you have for breakfast this morning? What you have for dinner last night? You're gonna ask because you're concerned about your nephews, your nieces, and whatnot, right? And they're gonna tell you what they ate, and then you're gonna be like, make a mental note, like, damn, they didn't really eat that much. And then you get that phone call from your sister, or maybe even at the house. Hey, yeah, they're not eating too well right now. You got a few dollars you can lend me because I need to get some food for these kids. These kids are hungry. Baby daddy ain't write a check yet. I need some money. You know what I'm saying? You just have to be over there playing with the kids. Now you put into a guilt trip because they're going. If you turn them down, they're gonna throw a guilt trip on you. Like, hey, wait a minute, why you can't do this? Why you can't do that? Right? So they're gonna put you in that situation. Trust me. Another one. A lot of us, unfortunately, are tied to people who are doing get in trouble with the law. So your brother might need money for bail. Oh man, hey dog, can you hook me up, man? I got pulled up, man. Yeah, I had a little, like Biggie said in that one movie. Oh, I got caught up with some when he was messing around on this girl, right? He said, "What, baby? Said, what happened? Oh man, I'm sorry, baby. I got caught up in some bullshit. No, you got caught up with your dick up in somebody else. That's what you got caught up in, this other woman. That's what you got caught up in. Talking about got caught up in some bullshit. Well, they gonna say the same thing. They're gonna come up and say they got caught up in some bullshit, but they actually did what they shouldn't have did. Now they want you to bail them out. That's another form of. Let's see. So another thing. See, everybody thinks that black taxes only amount to money, right? That means it's only monetary. No, brothers. Another form of black taxes is having any family member stay with you out of the blue. Yes, out of the blue. So I'll give you an example. So my sister, my little half sister, she is married to a woman. She met this white woman up in Massachusetts. My sister has a son that she got from this blind man before she met the white woman. So her life is all out of whack right now. So her son's now he's probably about 17, 18 now. But at the time, this was back in 20, I think this was back like 2 years ago in 22. Um, she had moved to Germany with her wife because her job said that she can move to, overseas. She said, okay, they said I can work overseas. Well, I was speaking to her almost on a daily, trying to make sure she was okay in Germany, because I had never really, I only seen, I mean, not seen, but I just hadn't seen my little sister, half sister since '99. Same time as last time I see my mom and then my sister, my mom, and since '99, right? When they came out to Vegas, they just crashed in Vegas one day out of the blue, like, whoa, what the hell, right? In a hotel. So anyway, so she was talking to me about her story, and then she mentioned later on that, you know what, I may have to go back to the States because my job is now telling me that I can't work in Germany. And of course, she didn't have a place to stay by that time. She had already gotten rid of her place. They live in an apartment. They lost a lot of money just dumping stuff because they had to move to Germany real quick because they finally got that green light during the pandemic, right? And Germany said, okay, now you can move here, right? So she's in the middle of getting her stuff all set up. Her wife is in German college trying to be a doctor because it's cheaper over there, whatnot, this case, that, the other. So she was mentioning all her problems she was having. And she said, yeah, I think, I'm gonna have to come back to the States. So actually it was. She said she does have to come back to the States by next week or something. And so I was like, oh, I see. She said, yeah, I don't know where I'm gonna stay. Maybe I might stay at mom's or whatever. But what that means is she was trying to stay with me. She was because she knew I had the big house and my son and things like that. Well, actually, that was 21. I realized now that was 21 because my daughter wasn't born yet. And so she was like, yeah, wanting to come stay with me, but she didn't say it. See, what they do is they don't directly ask you. They put the situation out there, and then you're like, then they put it on you to think about that, right? And then if you don't think about it enough, then later on they'll come out and say, hey, I need to stay with you. They won't even ask you. They'll just be like they're telling you, all right, I'm gonna be staying at your place. I need to stay with you. It's not, they never say, can I stay with you? They're like, I need to stay with you because I got this, I got that. They give you all these excuses why you end up being the choice for them in your own house, right? So that's what she was trying to go. But I nipped that in the ass real quick because what I said, well, I guess you're gonna be staying with mom because my wife is pregnant right now. Well, she was, and I got my son, and we in the middle of a pandemic, and I don't need to be getting nothing around my kids and my wife right now. And so she understood that right away. So what I'm trying to tell you, if you get an example, you just have to nip it in the ass right there. But she understood that. So I'm just throwing that out there. That was an example of somebody indirectly trying to get me to to have them stay at my place. Now I'm going to go into what it means with the black tax, having by them staying in your place. Um, so sometimes you get that what's the word I'm talking about? Another thing before I get into the people living with trying to live with you or stay with you out of the blue. So I was in a situation in 2010 where I was in school. I wasn't making nothing but unemployment. I was living off unemployment and I was in school. And my in-laws had provided me funds to go to Japan, right? Because what happens is, when you go to Japan, you different people give you funds, for like New Year's, this, that, the other, to get you started off. Okay, cool. So, what's up? What up, International? How you doing? I'm gonna put this definition of black tax up here. You just reminded me of that. I just want to put this up here so people know what I'm talking about. It's my homeboy, Mr. International. We're gonna get into this, brother. We're gonna get the panel rolling too. So anyway, my auntie came out here from Philly, and she just bogarted out there, right? I mean, she was like, I had to get to Japan because my aunt-in-law just passed away. And my auntie was out here, man. She just barely made it out here. She had a hotel, but she didn't have any money. And I'm walking around. First of all, my wife and I invited her to dinner in our house. She halfway picked through the dinner. And then we walking out, spending time with her, showing around the city. And then, we want to stop at a coffee shop, Starbucks, get a rest, talk about what she want to do. Every time I turn around, she want to go to a damn bar in the middle of a goddamn day. And drinks, alcohol is expensive, compared to a $5 cup of coffee. You wanted to drink a $13 glass of alcohol. My wife and I looking at each other like, we don't want nothing to drink. We want to go to this coffee shop because we figuring we have to spend this money. So we trying to keep this budget on the line. Luckily for us, it was only a few days before we had to roll up out, but she was a pain in the ass. She was a pain in the ass. She was expecting us to do everything for her on this trip. Everything. Really, she just barely made it out there. And then the last day when we were leaving, she had messed up on her date. She said she checked out her hotel. She said, "Oh my goodness, wait a minute. I wasn't supposed to check out till tomorrow. I wasn't supposed to leave till tomorrow. I ain't got no place to stay." I was like, "Wow, what am I going to do about this?" Because then she was like, "Well, I can stay at your house, and then I'll just drop the key off." We said, "No, ain't gonna work that way. No, no." We were like, "No, you need it." So she was on the daggone tram to the airport with us. And she had to get her a damn hotel at the airport. And we politely watched her ass get off at her stop and said goodbye and move right on. But too many of us will be like, "Oh, don't worry. All right, Auntie, you know what? Go on and stay at crash my crib. Auntie, go on and crash my crib. Right, dog? You know what I'm saying? They crash my crib, hang out, Auntie, you good. And then you go on your 2 to 10-day trip, you get back, guess what? She's still in your goddamn house. And she ain't left. She ain't left at all. And then she coming out probably saying some shit like, "Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you. I lost my job. I ain't got no money to get back. I only bought a one-way ticket out here. I'm sorry. I'm looking for a job out here. I'm trying my best." That is a huge dump on your family life, and a huge dump. That is a crisis. That is worse. That is going to take you well beyond that 20% of paying that black tax. Like I said, remember earlier in the stream, I said it's averaging about 20% of your income for black tax. But if somebody crash land on your ass, like not like my man said, like Malcolm X said, when we didn't land on Plymouth Rock landed on us. That's your family, your drama, your black tax landing on your ass. That's what happens when somebody say they all of a sudden gonna live and stay with you. And it never started off with them saying, "Oh, I need to move in because I don't have a job. I can't do this." It's always, "Oh, I need a few days at your place for a minute." Like you might have somebody like your sister might get in a fight with one of her baby daddies, and now her and her 3 kids landed on your ass. And now you got these crumb snatchers walking around your house that you didn't expect with your 2 kids or whatever, or just you and your wife who's just trying to be, trying to get your groove on. Now you turn around, you got to worry about the kids and the wife and then the sister and on the phone crying all night with one of the baby daddies because somebody slapped him, whatever the case may be, or she got food calling her from jail or whatever. It's a lot of damn drama with these black taxes. And another thing about the black tax that will really be messing people up is they like to throw that third party in there. Oh yeah, they like that third party. So, for example, here you are, you were talking to your mom or your auntie, your uncle about needing money, and you got off the phone. You're like, all right, cool, I got out of that. I ain't giving nothing. I ain't got to give up. And then you get this other call 6 hours later from somebody else that's close to your mom or your auntie or whatever, and your sister or somebody. Hey, mom, man, she's sick, man. Her meds ain't. Oh man, she can't pay her. I think her lights are off. Can you give her a few dollars? I gave her some money already. No, they didn't give him a goddamn thing. They didn't give him nothing. They say, oh, I gave some money already, right? Because they want you to go out there. You end up giving up that money. The next, you're gonna end up taking care of the whole thing. The next year, you're gonna end up forking out 3, 4, $500 on Medicare. I mean, medical costs or meds. And everybody and brother know in the U.S. meds ain't cheap. Meds are high as shit. So it's not cheap in the States. So you're gonna end up forking that money out, right? So these are the types of black taxes that you have to try to avoid. And I'm gonna tell you how to do that. I just wanted to bring that up. I just wanted to let you know that these things, the black tax, will hinder your life. And you can't sit up here and tell me that you've never been hit by black taxes. Every brother I know out there has been hit with black taxes, every one of us, and we've been treated like an ATM. My mother, who no longer talks to me, but I remember when I sold my condominium in 2001 and in 2005 in Hawaii. I remember I sold it and I was moving back to Seattle. And I remember she was on the phone with me. She said, "Oh, baby, I'm so happy for you. You selling your place, blase, blase. Hey, can you?" And she was married to some white dude. He said, "Hey, can you lend me $2,500?" Just out of the blue. She ain't never asked me for money before because she knew I would never give her any money. And then she gonna see, oh, there's money out there. Hey, I'm talking to you. Hey, can you? And then she said, oh, I'm just joking, because I didn't say nothing. I was like, I'm not. She didn't want to hear me say no, because I would have said no. I'm not lending you no money. And that's what you have to do. You have to come out there and you have to tell them no. Now here's how you beat the black tax. Okay, so here's how you beat it. So oh, one thing I want to bring up too. Oh, I just forgot about this. With the people living with you stuff. So brothers don't figure out the whole thing here. So when somebody just crash lands on your ass in your house, and you all, and especially like my little sister, man, my little half sister, she's about 350 pounds, a woman. And my other sister, who's not thin either, she probably in 200 pounds. But she told me that my little half sister smells like ass. The kind where they got the lips, they don't take care, they're smelling all nasty and shit. And so I can only imagine how much that woman can eat. And I got a wife, and at the time before my daughter was born, my wife and my son, and then I had my daughter on the way. I gotta feed my family, and then she gonna come crash land her ass in my house. Try to anyway, and then was also gonna probably be expecting me to take her all over, to sashay her ass in my car all over the damn place, or worse yet, even borrow my car, which I would never do, right? And on top of that, they go to bed all goddamn hours of the night. She gonna be on her laptop, on her phone, talking all loud to her wifey and her son and whatnot in Germany. I mean, you got to think about the whole picture. You just can't say, like back in the day, you see the movies, you seen, Big Mama like, oh, don't worry about it, baby. Come on. We got 50 people in the house. Come on in here. We got 55 people. Yeah, right. And you know, man, smoking a blunt, absorbing the knowledge. Oh, no, you go, brother. Yeah, yeah. I'm killing that. I'm gonna get into that. Yeah, I'm killing out here, dog. I'm killing out here, brother. Thanks, homie. But no, they sitting up there, man. They loud, they wrong, they demanding. And then the worst thing, brothers, the worst thing that could ever happen, which I would never have let happen to my woman, is another bitch get out here and try to tell my wife what to do in her own house. My wife will never stand for that. People think, oh, Japanese, they soft, they gonna say nod their head, bow, and smile all the time. No. Japanese will do that when they outside in public because that's what everybody else does. But when you come in their house and you try to show your ass, it's a whole different ballgame. They will kick you out of their house. They will kick you out. Yeah. And they will not be bound now to nobody. And that's their house. That is their abode. And this is what she runs, right? So she's not gonna let another woman come in here and tell her how to do her thing. Hey, no, you cooking this wrong, or you doing that. No, you clean. No, my wife don't want to hear none of that shit at all. So I would be like, no, sis, you got to leave. And that's the problem. If you do, because that's what I'm telling you, brothers, don't let them live with you. Because once they get in there, or even stay with you, because once they get in the door, it's hard to get them people out of your house. It's hard to get rid of them because all the guilt tripping and bobbing and weaving and crying and sobbing and drinking and all whatnot is hurting you. And then if they like me, I'm not a smoker, right? So I don't like tobacco, man. I can't stand cigarette smoke. And then a lot of people in my family smoke, so then they're gonna want to come out and they're gonna want to smoke in your house. So you keep telling them 1,000 times, don't smoke my house. Then you roll up in your living room and guess who's you see somebody using one of your cups as a goddamn ashtray, and you ain't got an ashtray one in your house. You see what I'm saying? Because they know, oh, he family, he ain't gonna kick me out. He fan. So don't let them in your house. Don't let them in your house. Don't let them in. Now, yeah, they can visit all day long. They can visit if they want, but at a certain time, it's time. Okay, well, hey, all right. Well, look, hey, I got to go to work tomorrow, man. So I'll see you tomorrow. Hit the door. And also, and here's another thing: if they're going to visit you, say they live in the same towns, and you know they got their own shit. If they're going to visit you and they have to drive or they have to do something, make sure they got a means to get their asses back home without you taking them back home. Because what will happen, and I've seen a lot of brothers get in trouble, is that family members come over and he get a couple swigs of alcohol up in him. You know, he all liquored up, he all feeling good, and he's like, "Yeah, I can get a little liquored up because I'm gonna go and hit the sack here in a little bit." And the next, you know, your auntie's like, "Oh, baby, I need a ride home. You know, I ain't got no taxi money. The buses gonna stop running. I need a ride home." So guess what? You can't be driving them home because you liquored up. But then you're gonna be like, all right, well, give me a minute. You're gonna try to drink a little water or whatever, you know, try to get that lick up out of you, and maybe get you know, to give me an hour. And then you drive them home, and guess what? You still get tagged with a DUI. See? Oh, that's part of black taxes, brothers. That's part of the black tax. That's what I'm saying. You being overly responsible. I'll put that definition up there. I'll put it up there. And I'm gonna you can show it right here. See? And I'm going to show the continue. So let me read that. The black tax refers to the financial burden borne by black people and they should put / black men who have achieved, mostly black men, who have achieved a level of success and who provide support to less financially secure family members. These monetary transfers are generally made between middle class and well-to-do black people and relatives who are struggling to make ends meet. That's what that shit is. Now, another thing you can see you can see it, right? When you watch all the sports figures out there, the basketball players, the football players, the baseball players, right? They giving money, they forking money over to their family or to somebody that came out of the blue. Hey, I'm your cousin TJ from Boo J, and you don't know his asshole from AJ, right? But you gotta give him some money, right? So these people are coming out and doing and just taking money from you, and then your own mama your own mom. I'm looking at my internet, man. My internet's really weak. Damn. I don't know why this is so weak right now. I'm hoping the video is not coming across all messed up. Your own mama's got you out there, using you. Say, get out there and make that money, baby. Go on. Oh, your head hurt. You just got knocked up. Don't worry about it. Get back up on that field. I need you to be a football star and make that money for me. That's a black tax too, because they're gonna be draining your ass for the rest of your life until you broke. Look at what happened to Chris Tucker, too, the movie star, Chris Tucker. He was giving money away like left and right, and now he broke. See, that's what it does. It kills your dreams. So many brothers, like they want to come. Oh, thanks, brother. If they want to come to Japan, right? They want to go to Portland, Portugal, or whatever they want to go to. And they at that moment where all right, I got everything hooked up. I'm ready to move. I got this right. This going to work. And guess what? Your mom is like, baby, why are you leaving? Why are you leaving? You moving so far away. You know I need help. I need this. I need that. My back, my neck, my ass, my back. Right? And then next you know, you get that guilt trip on you and you never move to Japan. You never move. and then you end up working for less because all the money your money's not going far because you making 6 figures, but you spending 6 figures because you got that 20% black tax, the government taking 35% from your ass, you got sales tax, you got all this money out there that you got to spend that you ain't even thought about yet. See, and then before you know it, you inundated in black taxes, and your dreams are shattered, and you can't do nothing, you can't do anything. What I can say about myself is what I like about the way that I've been, and I can honestly say this, is I've never paid one dime of black taxes to anybody. Never. I've never paid. I've had people asking for money. And I tell you right now, your answer should be, I am not a bank. I'm not a bank. What up, Johnny Walk? What's up, dog? I'm not a bank. You got to tell these people I'm not. I'm gonna open this panel up in a little bit too, brothers. I'm not a bank. You gotta let them know that. So that's why I'm gonna get me into this next topic on how do you get out of these black taxes. First, what you need to do is you need to develop your own plan, a plan that's going to take you to wealth. Okay, you need to develop that plan, and then you need to stick to that plan. And somebody asking you for money that you are not expected to get back deviates from that plan. Okay, I give you a good example. If you sitting up there and you got a plan to invest $300 this month, and somebody come out of the blue, your sister say I need food, your auntie say I need something, that turned out to be $180. You got to cough up to these women. Now you stuck with 120. You ain't gonna invest that 120. You're gonna mess around and waste that too, even though you didn't because you didn't have the full 300. You need to develop your plan and you need to stick to your plan. Okay, that's the one. Next, check your net worth. Did you know that with Credit Karma, there's an app called Credit Karma, and they getting sophisticated, man. It's a free app, and I know why they're free because their job is to get you to get loans and get more credit cards off your good credit and whatnot. I know because I look at my Credit Karma every day. I look at my net worth and my credit score every day. I'm not going to discuss my net worth as a private matter, but I do know that my credit score is 820. I got an 826 credit score. I have no debt. And I look at that every day because your net worth is going to change. It's going to go up. It's going to fluctuate. But what you need to do is, if you see it going down a little bit, you need to know why it went down. Oh, it went down. Is it a natural thing that you just because you charge your American Express card and you didn't pay your bill yet? That's a natural, decline in your net worth, and then you pay it, and your net worth is going to go up because you got your money and you paid your bill. See, so that's a natural one. So you have to check on your net worth. You can literally get on that app every day and check your net worth. You should be, yeah, it's a tax, a TurboTax too, but you should be knowing your net worth. Now, a lot of people may not have any net worth. They may be negative. They may be negative 10,000, 20, 100,000 because these goddamn student loans. But you need to, well, if that's the case, keep checking and making sure that that net worth is, that debt that you have is getting lower and lower and lower periodically. Because if it needs to, in other words, it needs to be going in the right direction, not in the opposite direction. So if you do have negative debt, or if you have just a little bit of net worth and you notice that it's not growing, cut that goddamn cable bill. Excuse me. You don't need that cable bill. You're going to look at all your expenses and say, you know what don't I need? Because my net worth is not improving. If you don't see your net worth improving and you got some shit that you're paying for that you don't need, cut that shit. And your net worth, you'll see your net worth go up. So you need to always check your net worth, because when you're checking your net worth, guess what happens? When auntie or somebody come and ask you for some money, you're like, I ain't got it. I don't have it. You just tell them straight up, I'm not a bank. I don't have it. You know I don't have it. You know you never give them nothing, because once you develop that reputation of never giving anything, they never gonna come to you and ask you for something. They're gonna know, oh, I'm not asking them. I'm not asking them. Man. I know he ain't gonna give me a goddamn thing. I ain't asking him nothing. You goddamn right, don't ask me nothing, because I'm not giving you nothing. So another thing is you want to tie up your funds and investments as much as you can to minimize any suspected disposable income. Y'all like that shit out? You like that when I put that this suspected disposable income? I can't even get off my lips, man. Suspected. I'm gonna write that shit and I'm gonna post that up here. All right, I'm gonna put that up here. So I'm literally, this is what I wrote down. So I said tie up your. Okay, here we go. This is funny. your investments, right? And make sure I spell this shit right. Tie up your investments. Oh, tie up. I'm sorry. Tie up your. Excuse me. I'm getting over a cold, man. I'll be all right. Funds and investments, right? I gotta keep looking at this stuff, nigga. This is funny. To minimize. Okay, so minimize any suspected, because trust me, they're gonna be looking for your disposable income. Disposable income. And I should put that. Okay, what the hell? Sorry, I'm just putting. So here we go. I'm gonna show this. God, man, my internet. It's my little girl always said, "Come." She's only 2 years old. She said, "Come on, internet." So you tie up your funds and investments to, to minimize any suspected disposable income. Because what happens is this: if you got money laying around, that is suspected disposable income, right? The money that you got laying around. So you get that call Sunday morning, man. You just getting out of bed. You get a goddamn call at 5 o'clock in the morning Sunday when you was planning on sleeping till 8 o'clock. And your sister on the phone talking about, all this baby crying in the background. Oh man, he need food. He hungry. He crying. He crying. He crying. He crying. He need food. And then you sitting up there and you got $500 that you got in your wallet or bank, whatever you want to do. And you get ready to do something with. You want to invest or whatever. And then they ask you for money. So guess what? That's going to turn into suspected disposable income, which means you're going to be like, all right, here you go. Here's $300. No, invest that shit. Tie it up to where you can't pull it out anytime you want. That's how you minimize that shit. Okay. Another thing you want to do. I'm gonna write this shit down because this is another one that you want to do. Okay. And by the way, I'm recording this, man. So y'all gonna be playing it back. It's gonna be nice. So move as far away as you can to keep parasites. There it is. I call them parasites. Parasites and black taxes away. Yes. And I'll give you another example. And he's gonna laugh at this. A home. They think it's spam. What is this, man? They rejected it. Okay, well, anyway, I'll just say it. Fuck you, YouTube. So, basically, what I was saying is just move as far away as you can to keep the parasites and black tax away. Just move as far away. And I give an example. So, and this guy's gonna laugh when he see this video. I know he is. This brother, Soul Shader. He's out in the boat, man, so he can't get on this video. But Soul Shader called me up one day, man, and he said, "Hey, he texted me about this shit. He texted me. He said, "Hey, my auntie said that she just lost $700 in crypto." So I'm looking, and literally, I'm looking at reading the text. I'm like, and so and then he said, "I just blew her off." Like, okay, well, whatever. Because he got into some shit. He had told me like a couple months ago that he had given some money to his family, one of his family members. And I said, no, brother. I said, what you doing? You don't be giving no money. That's black tax. He gave like $300 or something to somebody in his family. I said, no, hell no. They take advantage of it, brother. They know he's in the Navy getting some kind of pay. So they find out, oh yeah, we need money. So make a long story short, I talked to him later on after. I said, hey, look, I said, what does her losing $700 have to do with you? He said, well, yeah, she said she couldn't get it. She lost it in the wallet. She was trying to, because she's struggling with bills, so she's trying to put some money in the crypto so she can make some money off crypto to pay her bills. That is a fucked up situation. That is a fucked up financial situation. And then you know what Kevin Samuels said, a lot of the BWs, unfortunately, they don't know how to finance a goddamn hamburger, right? So, it's like, come on. You mean to tell me that you're going to put money into a speculative market expecting to get more money, and now you can't get your money out, right? Isn't that messed up? That's like, and she's trying to ask a favor from crypto. But see, and I mean, from my cuz who also, she's thinking she did him a favor, right? Now, because she did something before. Now she's trying to ask for another favor. Remember that movie, Jackie Brown, when my boy got up there, without me saying the N-word here, when Sam Jackson we went up there to get Chris Tucker, he said, look, man, hey, he's all cool, he has a little kangaroo on and shit. He said, hey, man, look. I hate to be the kind of nigga to ask nigga for a favor after doing nigga a favor, but I got to be that kind of nigga. That's the same way. That is exactly what his auntie was doing to him, right? After she did him a favor, right? So that's what they'll do too, man. They'll do favors for you, little subtle favors they're non-monetary favors, right? But expect you to pay them some money. Wisely, Soul Shader did not give her one dime. She said the problem she had was she had messed up her wallet and she could no longer get her money out, maybe because she forgot her encryption or something. That's her. She lost $700. Whoop-de-doo. Figure out a better financial plan. All right. So the reason why I brought Soul Shader up is because he's getting out the Navy next year. He's in California where his family lives in California too. And he's like, man, I got to be with them. So I'm going to have to pay up. I said, no, you don't. Because he's trying to get to Japan. I said, you need to get to Japan, brother. Get as far away. And what I mean is the reason why, like me, I love, because when I was living in Washington State, man, my biggest fear was having somebody's ass show up in front of my house unannounced from my family that needed money. Oh yeah, they literally just flew in, but Greyhound bust their ass up there, just made it, and be like, all right, hey, I'm here, I got no money, I'm hungry, let me in. That was my biggest fear. And I'll give you another example why that came to mind. Because when my uncle passed away in 21, my uncle passed away of COVID, man, in 21. My uncle Mike was cool. And he never asked me for money. My Uncle Mike was cool. He was the coolest man. We was tight, man. Me and my Uncle Mike were tight. We're only 14 years apart, man. My mom had me when she was 16, so that's why my uncle was like right around the corner at 14 when I was born. So he passed away, right? He was rooming with these two whites from people from Massachusetts, right? And out there, up some 3 hours north of me, up in Everett, Washington. I was living down in Buckley, Washington. I called it Buckaboo. And so he passed away, and then I got word because my mother kicked me out of her life in 20, so she was talking through the grapevine to get to me. She called herself giving me orders saying, hey, tell Tony to go out there and pick up Uncle Mike's stuff. Here I'm supposed to go to some COVID-infested place with my wife pregnant and my son in school and everything, and I'm home, and bring that to my house. And I was like, y'all better kiss the brown spot. I ignored that. I told my cousins, fuck them. I ain't doing shit. And I didn't, right? And then I heard through the grapevine because I talked to my auntie when I was talking to her before she showed her ass not to cut her off, is she was like, hey, your mom is wanting to fly out there and go to the hospital. And I think at that moment I realized, I remember now, that was when Uncle Mike was still living. She wanted to come out here and see him while he was still living. Yeah, right? They do, John. They look at us as like we're tools. I'm going to put this up there. They look at us like we're tools to be used. Yes. 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 And they didn't. They clearly did not care about the health of my family. No, they didn't. And she was going to want me to go up there and do the bullshit. You better get your ass up there and do it your goddamn self, what I was going to tell her if she was still talking to me. But see, my auntie had schooled me. She said, well, your mom wants to come out there, fly out to Everett. Me and your mom gonna fly out and see what we can do about Uncle Mike's things, or Uncle Mike, well, whatever, right? And I was like, wait a minute, what you gonna do that for us? Because I already found out from my cousin that they were gonna fly out and that they wanted me to pick them up and stay at my house while it's doing it. That's out of the blue. My mom thought I was just gonna do that after not talking to me for over a year and treat me like shit most of my life. She's expecting me to go pick her ass up and bring her to my house in the middle of the fucking COVID. And even if it wasn't COVID, why the fuck would I bring you to my house and you don't say nothing? You treat me like shit, right? So I was like, that ain't gonna happen. So I talked to my auntie. I said, no. I said, y'all can't come out here because there's no reason. The hospital's not gonna let you in there anyway. It's in the middle of COVID. And where y'all gonna stay? Now, see how I worded that? And where y'all gonna stay? Because you ain't staying with me. Because that's what it was. I didn't come out and say you ain't staying with me. I said, where y'all gonna stay? See, they knew where they want to stay. They're gonna try to bogart their ass in my house. So that's what I'm saying. Right? We're supposed to be soldiers, right? This is what my boy was saying. My homeboy was saying we're supposed to be soldiers, but we're supposed to divide the spoils of war no way, right? Because the thing is that's why I'm schooling Soul Shader. Get out of the matrix. Get over to Japan. That way, Nobody can get their ass on the plane because most of them ain't got passports anyway. And they ain't got the money to fly all the way to Japan. And when they get to Japan, they get to Tokyo. Great. What you gonna do? How you gonna find me? You can't speak a lick of the language. You don't know the systems. And even if you did come out to the city, you still ain't gonna be able to find me because in Japan, you can't just Google somebody's name and come up with an address. It's private over here. And in the States, another thing, brothers, one thing I want to tell you about that is if you get that one of those virus like McAfee or Norton or whatever, or Aura or whoever's out there, make sure that they clean up your system on the internet too. I got McAfee to clean up my shit on the internet. Yeah. I was Googling myself and this bullshit was coming up. I said, wait a minute, what's this shit? McAfee got on it for me. I said, no, clean that shit up. And they did. So nobody, you don't want nobody to be even Googling your ass. They can type your name in right now. Boom. Oh shit, what's this? No, you don't want nobody to do shit. So yes, you want to move as far away from these motherfuckers as you can possibly move. Trust me. Another thing, keep your financial situation private. Keep your shit private. Keep your material items private. Keep the fact like I'm getting this house built in Japan, right? I don't tell them shit. They're not gonna be able to stay in my house anyway, whether they know it or not. But I don't want them in my business. Keep basically what I'm saying is keep them out of your business. Keep them out of your business because they will find any avenue to get what you got. You know, that's why these people all of a sudden show up at somebody's funeral. Well, I heard he had this. I heard he had that. I heard he had that. Like my dad, his ex bitch, when my dad passed away, he had a Lexus E350. And this bitch was like, I'm getting a Lexus. And I couldn't go down there at the time. I was in a pretty bad spot, man, at 13. Financially, I couldn't go down there. But if I was down there, I would have been like, you, and you, get the fuck out. My dad's oldest boy. I'm taking care of my dad's shit. You ain't getting shit. Give me the keys that you got to. Or I'll throw. If you don't leave, I'm gonna throw your ass out myself. That's what I would have did. That's what you do at funerals, especially at your daddy's funeral, brothers. Now that I'm doing this one too, if your daddy passed away one day, we all pass away. Your daddy passed away. Make sure you running shit. Not no, you run it. Unless your parents are still married. If your parents are still married, that's a different story. But if they're not married and you go to your daddy's funeral, you make sure you running that shit. Because all that possession he got is your shit. Everything is yours. And the way things need to be run is you. Now they might be like, well, you need to write the check then. Well, you know what? If you do write the check, hey, now that's a different form. And I'm going to talk about an acceptable black tax. I'm going to talk about acceptable black taxes. One acceptable black tax, you don't always have to be monetary, is to make sure that your father's things, your parents' things are handed to the right people, right? Are taken care of. And sometimes we get caught with that. We get caught with, hey, you got to, you got to pay this and pay that, the funeral costs and this, that, the other. Sometimes you get with that. Well, that's when you need to be in the situation where you need to find out what kind of insurance they had. You need to exhaust every account that they had to pay for that funeral. That way, that will minimize that black tax on you. That's what you need to do. You need to learn how to take care of things when people pass on, because people will pass on. People pass on every day. So that's another thing you have to do. You have to learn how to handle that. It's something that we don't like to talk about, but we got to handle that too. So that's when it comes up. But that's what I wanted to say about this black tax, man. So far, I want to get people up on the panel because I want to hear some stories. I want to know what else everybody else is dealing with. I'm gonna go ahead and send this link out up here. I'm gonna put it in the live chat, and I want to see, man, what is everybody else going through when it comes to black taxes. Let's get this panel fired up. I want to know what's going on. I got my homeboy up here, Mr. International Johnny Walker's up in this bitch. I want to know what is going on, man, with y'all experience with this black tax thing, because it's a mess and it's holding brothers up. It's holding brothers up. So I'm gonna just type this in. So the panel's now open. I'm actually gonna drop that link in there. Because I want it that way everybody can see the link up on the screen, and then they can just kind of go in there and do their thing. So let me go ahead and show that. So yep, the panel is now open. That's the stream you can do to get on here to check it out, because we ain't messing around. We seriously gonna discuss this black tax thing, because like you said, brothers, they don't value us. So they think that we're just an ATM. Like I said, you will obtain wealth, and when you do, you don't want these fools to know nothing. My cousin, I give you a wise brother. He just passed away on me, man. And my cousin Leroy, let me give a special shout out to Leroy Jones too. My cousin Leroy, that's what I was remembering out here. Leroy Jones, heard of my brother, heard of my cousin. They was in Philly. Charlie the Shields, Charles the Shields. This brother was 72. He just passed. He just left us. Good looking brother, man. He was dating the young girls like in the 40s, man. He was an electrician. He did his own thing. He died a wealthy man, and nobody knew about it. Yeah, he kept that shit away from his family. Okay, okay, I got you, homeboy. So you can't. I got you for the internet. Okay, um, no problem. I got you. So we can't get that on, and then so it looks like we may or may not be able to get. Let me see here. I'm gonna go to anybody on the panel, and if that's the case, then I'll go ahead and shut it down, and then you guys can just leave some comments and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's internet. Yeah, man, I got 2 bars now, which is a little bit better than it was earlier. Um, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because this topic, brother, this black tax. Everybody been talking about this black taxes for the past few months. We all knew about it, but now it's starting to come out. And I just wanted to tell you, brothers, if this is what I would consider a closing statement, since I don't look like I want to have a panel up here today. So what I want to tell you, brothers, man, is that look, you have to manage your funds. You have to manage your funds. If you don't know how to manage funds, you need to learn how to manage your funds because you will get nickeled and dimed out of your shit. You will. You will get nickel and dime out of all kinds of shit that you don't even know. In America is a nickel and dime society. It really is. Because you see people, it's only gonna cost like say, for example, this is how they get you. Let's say your cable bill is like $300 a month. And you're like, damn, that's a lot of money. The salesman be like, no, but wait a minute. There's 30 days in a month. That's only gonna cost you $3 a day. $3 a day. Oh no, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I made a mistake on that. So, wait a minute. Nope. I want to get a better example on this. A better example. There's going to be more than $3 a day at $300 a month. So basically, what they're going to tell you some shit like, here it is. I got it. Yeah, 10. I meant to say $10. It's only going to cost you $10 a day. Yeah, but that's still $300 a month, and that's how they get you. They get you. They nickel and dime you. They'll break it down. Oh, but that only in 1 year you're only spending $3,600 a year on cable. That's a lot of money. But see, in America, they're very good at word tracking. Very good. You want to know how I know how word tracking works? Because I was in sales for almost 10 years. I was in sales. I was a salesperson. Yep. I used to sell cars, and I was a finance manager at a car dealership. In fact, when I was in Hawaii is when I moved up a lot. I got there, I couldn't get a job. I got into the car business, and within 6 months, I was selling cars. I was like, oh shit, I was good at it. And it was like, damn, I said, okay, I'm good. And I got better. And then a few years later, I was selling cars on the internet. And then the following year, they said, hey man, you sell way too many cars. You need to be a finance manager. And when I was a finance manager, they even offered me to become a sales manager. But I didn't want to be a sales manager yet because I wanted to prove myself as a finance manager first. But they really wanted me to be a sales manager. And if I took that sales manager position in Hawaii, I would have probably been still living there, and I would have probably been making some really big coin. But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because Hawaii, man, they have a lot. The women there are not as nice, and they are very greedy, man. They just want to use you for everything. And I was making a lot of money, but I did not want to get too involved with that. So, but no. And then after I got out of sales, well, I came back. I got back into car sales when I came back to Seattle, and then I got into mortgages. And I started doing good in mortgages. Even though the market was bad, I was working auctions, and I was making money until that dried up. But still, I learned all the ways to do a sale. You got your assumptive close, you got your takeaways. There's all kind of things out there. So yeah, the breakdowns. That's how you get them. So like you said, you could be out there, and Mr. Dance would be like, "Oh man, I don't want to pay no more than $450 a month for this beautiful car I'm about ready to get." I say, all right, man, I'll be right back. Let me see what I can do for you, man. I said, I don't know if I can get that 450, man. Let me see what I can do. And I come back and I'm shaking your hand, brother. And I got a big smile on my face. Man, congratulations. I got you 550 a month payments. And this is your new car you get. And you like, oh, I'm happy. And you driving home because you never really knew what figure was good in your head. We know because we check your income. We know that you can't be no more than 20% of your payments can't be no more than 20% of your income. We know that. And we know that that 450 is only putting you at 15%, and 550 is going to put you right below 20%. We know that already. And that's why we said I've closed so many times that way. I had people come up to me like, hey, like this one lady drove in. I was at Audi. White lady walked over. She had a good job too, man, making 6 figures plus a year with her boyfriend, driving in there. And I gave her the keys. I said, hey, you and your man, go out there in your roadster and drive. She drove the TT roadster out. She came back, man. She said, oh my God, I want this car so bad. She said, oh man. And I said, yeah, well, the payment, I hit her high. I said, well, the payment's going to be pretty high. I mean, you're probably looking at about 800 a month. She said, oh my goodness, I want this. But she said, look, if you can get it for me for like 650, I'm happy. And man, I came back, man. I said, congratulations. I said, I got you at $725 on my payment. She said, sign me up. See, or you'd be like, all right, you right, the payment's too high. Well, all right, well, we're gonna go and take this away then. So you go ahead and do what you got to do. Oh no, I want that. Bam, it's a closed deal. See, so America is so full of word tracks because Americans love to be entertained by bullshit. Trust me. So anyway, just getting back to our black tax conversation here. So just brothers, like I said, black tax can kill your future. It can kill your wealth building. It can kill your plans, your dreams, everything. Like I said, follow the rules. Get as far away. If you're having some problems in your neighborhood with your family, in your city with your family, get as far away as you can to where they can't just show up one day in your house. And that means you may have to go out of the matrix to get as far away. You have to establish a life. You have to literally, like I said, put together a plan on how you're going to get out of that mess, and then work on your net worth. Know your net worth. Always know your net worth. If somebody asks you what your net worth is today, you don't have to necessarily tell them, but you should know in the back of your head what your net worth is because you checked it all the time. That's what. Oh, we got Johnny up here. Okay, wait a second. We got somebody on the panel. Give me a second. Here we go. I'm going to add this brother to the stage. What's up? Hold up. Is your mic? Excuse me, I think you got your mic. There you go. What up, Johnny?
Hello.
What's
Can you
up?
hear me?
How you doing, brother? Can you hear me?
Does not.
Johnny, I can't hear you.
Doesn't sound like I'm coming through. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
You was breaking up a little bit. You breaking up a little bit.
Hello.
I can hear you say hello.
I can't
John, can you hear me?
hear you.
Can you hear me now? Yep, I can hear you, Johnny.
Can you hear me?
Yep,
Hello.
I can hear
Hello.
you.
Testing 1 2 3.
Hello, I got you. I got you. I got you. John, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Oh, hold on. Let me see here.
Let me go to settings here.
This is
Audio. Testing.
let me.
Hello.
I'm gonna go to. Can you hear me now? I'm gonna try one more thing here. Let me go on to my phone. And see if I got a better. I'm gonna go on my phone and see if I can do it because that way I'll be able to get onto the same thing and then I might be able to. You might be able to hear me better. Let me see here.
Can anyone on your channel hear me?
Huh? Hold up. I really want to hear what Johnny got to say, man. I got to hear this, brother. Let me see.
Audio.
Okay, I'm gonna log into my other StreamYard account. Let me see here. 3970. Okay, let me see. What is it? 370.
Testing.
Okay, give me 1 sec. Give me 1 second.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna go in the studio. Let me see here. See if I can get in here.
Yeah, for some reason, I cannot hear you.
It's breaking down.
I wonder if it's on
Okay,
my
let
end.
me see
Or
if
maybe I
you can
should
hear
leave
me
and then
now.
come back. Let me
Okay,
try
can you
leaving
hear
and
me
coming back.
now? Johnny, can you hear me now? Just a moment. I got another one. Just give me a second. Johnny? Johnny, can you hear me now? Johnny? 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 Um, um, a second here. Second here. Johnny, can you hear me now? 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 Okay, so yeah, brother. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this live. Oh wait, Johnny said he can hear me. So okay, so let me see if I can bring him back on. Okay, okay, okay. So let's see if Johnny can get back on. I really want to hear what Johnny says, man, because this brother's got a lot of wisdom, man. This brother's got a lot of wisdom, and I've always wanted to hear what this brother has to say. So I'm gonna get Johnny here on here in a minute, man. Um, yeah, man. Where I live too, in this house, my internet here is really bad. Even though I got my internet box and everything, man. Oh, there he is. I'm gonna add him now. Can you hear me, brother?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Okay, you sound muted. You sound muted.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Okay, I can hear you too. I think you just got to turn your volume up. I can hear you a little bit low. I think you got to turn your volume up.
Okay, let me do that.
You got me?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it looks like you're let me see
Can you
here.
hear me? I can hear you pretty well.
Um,
Can you hear me? Am I coming across loud and
I
clear?
can hear you. I can hear you a little bit. What about now?
Yeah, no, I mean I can hear you really well. Let me make sure the volume is the same as I can get.
Yeah, okay, I can hear you a little bit better because I turned my volume all the way up to the max.
Can you hear me better?
Yep, I can hear you better now.
How about now?
Yep, I got you.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I mean, I saw you went live, and it's it's pretty rare for me to be able to catch you. So I wanted to just hop on and just kind of give my perspective and pretty much just come out in support of the general message that you're putting out there. Because uh, of all the black men that I come across, there's this. I get the sense that there's like this guilt, this pressure, this shame to to constantly invest, reinvest into the community with you know no reciprocation of what it is that we want as black men. There's this expectation that we work and go to school and you know get a job just so we can pretty much support the matriarchy, if you will, the gynocratic system that we've all grown up in. um, but at the same time not getting like the respect that we feel we're owed. And I it's like I said earlier, I've always felt like we're viewed as tools or wallets, or as you say, bank accounts. And
Yes.
I'm no stranger to this experience. I've gone through it with my family. Particularly my mother's side of the family, where there's just this expectation to, constantly support and constantly give. And you have to kind of get to a point where you just have to be selfish. And it sounds bad, right? Because, you want to be supportive of family, you want to help family, but at the same time, you're not responsible for bailing people out of the mistakes that they've made with their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, in my particular situation, my mother, she couldn't make it work with a good man. And she, had plenty of handouts from various family members, and including myself. And, just couldn't manage her own financial situation as good as she should have. And I could tell as I was getting into my mid-20s and late 20s that the expectation was just going to fall squarely on me. And I'm like, well, what about what I want, going forward with my life? I want to be able to build my net worth and be financially independent. And I'm going to want enough money to have a family of my own, buy property. How am I supposed to do that? And also take care of you from like the time you're, say, 45, 50 years old until you pass. And then, so I'm supposed to be like your 401k, and I have to have my own
Yes.
401k. And, you know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
I have to be able to support a family of 2 or 3. But how can I do that if I'm supporting you? I mean, you had your chance to make the right decisions. And so it's like, you feel this tug of war inside. But, I think as Black men, I think we should just liberate ourselves of that, requirement, if you will, that community requirement.
Yes. 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 Johnny, where are you located, brother? By the way, where are you located?
Right now I'm located in the Pacific Northwest, in
What?
Portland,
Where?
Oregon. Portland,
Oh,
Oregon.
okay.
Yeah.
I just left Seattle, man. I just left Seattle, and man, Portland is really messed up right now, too, brother. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah,
My
it
wife and
is.
I, man, we were in Portland. We knew a dude. He was a friend of mine. He was a son of my friend. The last time we were in Portland with my son was in like 2016. This guy was the #1 draft pick for the Portland, the team, the soccer team, the Portland,
Oh, the Portland
Tim-
Timbers. The Timbers.
yeah, and he played like one. I think he might have played one game for the Timbers. He was going to be a striker. His name was Ben Pope. He was really good in soccer, man. But when he got there, I guess he just had some issues. He got in a couple fights with the players, and then he ended up moving to Orlando, and then he ended up stopped playing. He's in Portland now, but he stopped playing soccer altogether. He went to IT, but he had a lot of talent. I mean, he was from England because his daddy married an English woman, and he was like living in England, and that's where he picked up his soccer skills. Brought him to the States, and he was really good, man. And that's why they drafted him #1. I was like, damn, Ben #1. It was just crazy, man. But we went to see a Portland Timber game. It was hot as hell. But Portland, man, is so messed up now, brother. I feel so sorry for Portland, man. Portland was such a beautiful city because my wife and I went there the first time in '08 together, or a year after we got married on our anniversary from Seattle, and we loved it. We loved going up to 23rd. We loved just hanging out in Portland, man. It was just the vibe was so cool. People were friendlier than Seattle because Seattle people aren't friendly, but they were really friendly in Portland. So, so I know
Yeah,
what
it's
you're going
very
through.
open. It's very open, very liberal. The folks there are welcoming. It's just, I think the only drawback to living in Portland is it's just that it's very overcast. And, as a brother, like, I kind of need the sunlight, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's the only drawback if I had to
yeah,
complain about something.
yeah. And Oregon could use a little bit more. The state itself, to me, I still call it Alabama West because the rest of the state man, can be
It's not
racist as
diverse
hell.
here. It's
Yeah,
not
we don't
diverse.
have a lot. No, but no. So okay, so you up there. So you mentioned, man, like your mom's side of the family, right? You said that they always ask for stuff, and see that was my case too. I've since severed ties with my mom's. Well, they severed ties with me and then one by one, I severed ties with them because they were bringing a lot of drama, man. When my daughter was born, my auntie was bringing drama. I was like, and I was getting ready to move to Japan. I said, you know what? I said, I can't do this. I can't. I got to be stress free. And I tell you, brother, I've been living here over a year, man. I've never been happy in my life, man. I don't have to worry about these women showing up on my doorstep demanding stuff. They can't call me. They can't come on my no. They're not on my social media. They can't do nothing, man. Nothing to me, you know. And I think for most brothers, like you said, you start getting in your early 30s. You want to start looking at your net worth. You want to start figuring out, hey, moms, everybody, wait a minute. Everybody stop. What about my life? What about me wanting to raise a family? What about me, my career? What about me? And then you get a good job. What they going to do? Oh, you got a good job. Guess what?
Got
Where's
to give
that
back.
money? You got to
Yep.
give back. You don't
Time
have
to
to give
give back.
nothing back. You have to give nothing back.
They want help with rent. They want help with car payments. They want help with medical bills. And you notice our white counterparts, our Asian counterparts, they don't have to deal with this. If anything, their parents and grandparents are investing into them.
Yep.
But for us, it works the other way around. We're supposed to pretty much invest in the previous generation.
Yes.
Well, I mean, come on.
I know.
I mean, did you have me just so you'd have like a retirement plan? I mean, what's that about?
Well, the thing, and you mentioned retirement plan. Unfortunately, for a lot of women, especially a lot of BWs, is when they get, like you said, 45, 50 years old, most of them are single. To them, guess what that means? For the next 30 years, they're going to expect you to help them out. They're going to expect you to be their IRA or their Roth or whatever, right? For the next 30 years. You can't do that. It's not your fault that they're in the situation they're in. It's not your fault. And that's the way it works in Japan. Japan, they complain about it, the women will, but the Japanese government looking at them like, hey, it's your fault that you're in the situation you're in. You getting some money, but you crying about how much you're not getting. That's because you decided you wanted to leave your husband. You decided you wanted to get out of that situation. You made that mess. So you got to deal with it. That's the reality of it all. They don't want to hear reality. They will divorce in America. They will dump a man over something as trivial as he didn't see. They will dump a man. They will dump a man in Japan. In Asia, a woman won't dump you for even messing around on him because they're like, wait a minute, why am I going to let him go for 20 minutes of pleasure and I'm going to ruin the rest of my life? Does that really mean that much to me? No. He's a man. I know what men going to do.
They're doing a
smart.
cost benefit
They know
analysis.
what the man going to do. Yeah, they know we're weak, and they look at us. Oh, he's just a weak man, and because he's weak against weak against women. Yeah, you weak when you walk into a room and a naked body in there, and she ready to throw it on you. Yeah, you're gonna be weak. If she looking nice and she smelling good, you're gonna be weak. But is she going to give up the money for her kids? No. See? So that's what it is. And then you also got, unfortunately for us, we never got those reparation checks.
Nope.
Never got the reparation checks. And
we're getting out the mud. We're getting it out the mud.
We're getting out the mud. And the thing is that what people don't understand is the reason why we're in this situation today is because when World War II ended and the veterans came home, they were kicking black men out of the military for something as trivial as saying the wrong thing. We didn't get those benefits that those whites got. See, think if you know American history, a middle class was never established until after World War II. Because before World War II, what do we have? The Depression. Maybe the middle class started during the war with people working in the factories, but that was temporary. But then the real deal started when the veterans came back and got the GI bills, got the home loans, got the business loans. Black men didn't get all that. They said, there's surveys out there, only a few percentage of black men were able to partake in that grab. So what happened? After the black men didn't get nothing, the black women had to go back to being domestic maids for cleaning white women's houses. Guess what they didn't qualify for? Social Security. See? So they start looking toward the brothers. Say, hey, you got to help me out because I don't have nothing, right? And then what happened in the 60s? We were rioting in the 60s because we didn't get the middle class in the 40s. That's why we were rioting in the 60s. If we didn't have civil rights, we would have been okay if we still had money, we was living good. We would have figured out the civil rights thing, but we didn't have any money. So we were all messed up. So this whole black tax thing has been going on ever since black people start working for something. Ever since we became free or we freed ourselves, people have been looking at us for black taxes, especially the men, because it's a man's world. We make more money. But now
Right.
you got black women out there making more money than black men and still asking black men for stuff because they don't know how to manage their finances.
And that's my problem. That's my problem with it. So, ever since, the 70s, women have had increasing number of opportunities to get educated, get into the workplace, and earn salaries from jobs that they choose to go into, right? So they don't have to pick the blue collar jobs if they don't want to. They can pick the white collar jobs. They can be engineers. They can be accountants. They can be lawyers. They can get into real estate, and they can earn salaries that are commensurate with what men are earning, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I don't get it. You have all this opportunity, right? You can either go after your career, or you can get married to a good man, right, who's bringing in a stable income. But at the end of the day, we're finding that many of them still are carrying the most debt, and they're still looking to us to bail them out, even though they've got all these social benefits, all these other social safety nets. So that's where I really have like the biggest issue with this thing, because I'm like, you've got multiple opportunities here, and you're still looking to me, somebody who didn't choose to be born. I didn't choose to be here. Two people decided to have me.
Yep.
Okay, well, why is it
Decided.
that
Yep.
why is it
Yep.
that the financial responsibility of the last 20 to 30 years of your life falls completely on me? You have
Yep.
feminism. You could also get married if you want to. You have choices.
Yeah. And I wanted to say something. You said something about Asian. And one thing I do know about Asian though is they rely on the youngsters to take care of them when they get old. But excuse me, but here's the big difference. Asian families stick together, number one. And number two,
Mhm.
they invest heavily in their children to get
So
them
they're
on the
mhm.
right track, to make the right income, to build that wealth. And then that their children in turn will take care of them. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I can totally get on board with that. I can totally agree with that. I mean, especially if both the men, the husbands and the wives have not been irresponsible, and they've been committed and
Yes.
faithful to each other, and they've done the best that they could do with the circumstances given to them, and they heavily invested in the children. The children became wildly successful. Then yeah, I totally get the children. Are expected to take care of them in their latter years. They step up and they accept that responsibility. But
Yep.
in our case, I get, ABWs are looking to be bailed out of some irresponsible decisions and choices
Yes.
that they've made.
Yes, they are. And
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 we're
they and
deadbeats
they
if we don't step up. We don't love our mothers if we don't step up. Your mother's black. You don't love your mother. You know what I'm saying? You don't love your aunt.
yeah,
You don't love your. The shaming language
yeah,
comes
they
on.
throw the shame on us a lot. And like you said, with the ABW thing is that excuse me, they're the worst financial managers because I know I got a sister who's a master's degree. She was making quite a bit of money using her, teaching and whatnot. She moved up to as vice principal, and whatnot, but she didn't know how to manage her money, and she lost a lot. She lost it all, and then, like you said, then they go looking for somebody to bail them out, and it's like, excuse me, wait a minute, you got all the student loan debt. My two sisters, one of my half sister, but my two sisters alone, between the two of them, they got over $300,000 in student loans debt. Excuse me, and they're both over 40. My little sister is like 1 year younger than me. She's 61. And then my other sister is like, she was born in 79. So that would put her at 45. And between the two of them, they got over $300,000 in student loan debt. There's no way in hell you'd have that kind of student loan debt at that age. There's no way. So
How are you going
yes,
to
they're
pay that
looking for
off?
people. Yeah. I mean, excuse me, I'm getting a real cold here. But they're looking for you to bail them out. And then if you don't bail them out, you're a loser.
Hmm.
But what about your own life? What about, like, I don't know if you have a family or not, or do you have children? You have a
I
wife,
Nope,
children or not?
no wife, no kids, no debt though. financially independent. I'm well situated. I'm in tech. I've been in tech for about 8 years now.
Oh, see, I
And
love tech, man.
yeah,
Yes.
and, and my only loyalty is to the American economy, and that's as far as
Yep.
it goes. I'm not loyal to the community. I don't think the community can really be saved, and I don't think the community has really anything for like an educated, well articulated brother. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to get a better deal overseas at the end of the day. So I'm setting my sights on that. I'm in my mid 30s, so I still got time, to
Wait,
start
why
a
aren't you in
family.
Japan? Why are you not in Japan, brother? Hey, Johnny, brother, why are you not in Japan, man? What's going on?
Oh man, I'm kind of like Team Latina. Kind of like Team Latina. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Tina's cool too. I'm just throwing it out there, man. But no, Tina, anywhere out of the Matrix is good. You know,
Right.
anywhere out of the Matrix is good. I think that your dollar's gonna go a long ass way. Your quality of life is gonna be so much better, brother. I mean, the America is just so damn expensive. And where you live
Inflation.
in the Pacific Northwest, it's expensive, brother. It ain't cheap. I mean, I was living in Seattle, man. I was like, oh my goodness, this place is mad crazy. You know, this is mad crazy, man. The way they call charging. Like my wife was on the TV the other day. She said, "Damn, they're paying $24 for a smoothie in the U.S. and we only pay like $3 for a smoothie in Japan or $2, and they're paying $24 for a smoothie. That's crazy for a damn smoothie. Nobody pays for that. See." So yeah, you're right. I mean, if you want Latina, then what you think? Which country you thinking about with the Latina thing? Which one you looking for?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of torn between Colombia and Brazil right now.
Mhm.
Um, I've heard nothing but good experiences from brothers about those two countries.
Yep.
They're both, and they're both in the same time zone as the States.
Yeah.
So, if I wanted to work from either of those two countries, then that would be very doable.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, those are the two countries that I have my sights set on. I mean, but my Spanish is a lot better than my Portuguese, so I'm kind of
Mhm.
I'm leaning heavy towards Colombia. IP has tried to put me on Japan.
Mhm.
He's like really really pro Japan, and I totally get it. Very very advanced economy, super
Yes.
safe.
Safe. Yeah.
You know, healthy food.
Yeah.
Medical care is of a high quality and also
Yep.
affordable.
Yep.
Great woman, feminine, beautiful. Um, yeah, I guess the only drawback there is that it's just in a wildly different time zone than my work time zone. So it'd be kind of hard to pull off. I mean, I could see myself maybe retiring there, but I
Yeah.
still got about a good 10, 15 years in corporate America before I walk away. So.
Yeah. Well, you said you don't have the debt, and I like the fact that you don't. I mean, we got something in common there. And I was going to say that you saw I mentioned the Credit Karma thing. So I just
Mm.
discovered this myself. I knew what my net worth was, but I was just basically just writing it down, or just checking my stuff, my investments and whatnot. But I like the fact that Credit Karma, what they do is they let you put all your link. They let you link all your accounts up, and then whatever ones won't link, you can manually, like crypto won't link, so I manually put whatever crypto I got in there, and then it paints a picture of what your net worth is. So basically, when you open up that dashboard, you see at the top your net worth, and then you see your credit score. I love that because I always want to know what my net worth is, because that means a lot. And I think that more brothers should get into knowing, reckoning, because a lot of times what happens, and this is what happened with the ABWs, is they may be making some good money. They get a job where they're making $150,000 a year. They thinking they rich. No, they could be making that kind of money, but their net worth could be minus. It could be negative net worth. They got income, but they don't have net worth, and they are confusing high income with high net worth, because
Those
high
two are
income,
not the same.
they're
Those two
not
are
the
not the
same.
same because a lot of folks, especially ABW, they're carrying high credit card debt, high student loan debt, high car debt, in some cases high mortgage debt, right? And they
Yep.
might even have debt from medical expenses. So their overall net worth might actually be deep into the negative, deep into the
Yes,
negative.
and with the
I
student
mean,
loans too.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's, in that type of situation, I mean, you're not financially free. You're pretty much a slave to the system until you can get rid of all that debt. You're probably not going to get rid of all that debt until you're well into your 60s or 70s. And with the way the interest rates are, I mean, it's hard for you to really get out of that situation. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you could be making 100K a year, but if you're already living like at your means or slightly above your means, and then you have all of that debt piled on top of it,
Yeah.
financially, the picture holistically is not really good. You know what I'm saying? And if you wanted to take on more debt, most creditors probably wouldn't allow you to do that. So
And who's
yeah,
going to marry you?
and yeah, and then they still, if they don't have any kids or a husband, they still want to do all of that. And I'm like, where are you going to find the money to support that kind of venture if you're already deep in the debt? And like you said, who is going to marry you? Because that's one of the many reasons I don't want to a marriage stateside, because I'd be taking on all that debt.
Yeah.
I'd have to help her pay back all of those loans,
Yes.
for her education, for her car, for her house. And who's to say that once I pay all of that stuff back, that she doesn't want to just up and divorce me, because irreconcilable differences is a good enough reason to get a divorce in America, right? So I'm like, well, why would I put myself in that situation? It makes no sense.
Yeah, because she could divorce you, and then on top of that, take what you had and take it back to her. And then she's gonna turn around and create more debt off the next situation because that's her MO. So that's
Hmm.
her MO. So basically, too, what I was gonna say is that look, they get up there and they always try to compete with the white women. I noticed this so much with the hair thing, but it's not. But if you look at them, okay, anybody can style their hair any way they want. But I'm not a fan of the straight hair. I always tell my cousins, look, I like the natural. But what I'm trying to say about the straight hair, there's what I call it straight hair syndrome. They get up there because they not only want to look that part, they want to act that part. So, for example, I'll give you a good example. Like my friend's wife, he was there's a friend, not my friend, but there's a friend of my friend's whose wife is getting his kids involved in so many activities
Mm.
where they don't even have enough. The brother's like, damn, I ain't got no time off on the weekend either because my daughter's doing this, that. Because the black woman, what they do, the AWBW, they go to work and then they listen to, they check all these white women they're working with, what their kids doing, and then they say, oh, my kid need to be doing that because they think that if their kids doing the same thing, they're going to they're going to end up with the same life, which is so far from the truth. It's so far from the truth. Their kid's going to end up with the exact opposite life, and they're never going to get to know their parents because they're always out there running around doing stuff that other people do just because she wants to impress somebody at her job. Because they go to work and they hear Miss Susan say, or Susan Jones, yeah, I got my kids are in ballet. They're gonna start, and then she listens. Then she says, then that way she can say, hey, yes, hey, Dorothy's in ballet. I got her in this. I got her in that. They just want to go through. They just want to be able to talk up a show. That's why they spend so much money. They got to get the nice car. They need the Lexus. So if you buy them a VW, no, where's my Lexus? You take them to Applebee's. No, I don't want to go to Applebee's. They get in the fight, throwing the tantrum in the Applebee's because they wanted you to take them to the Mortons. I mean, it's like they're never satisfied because they're always trying to keep up with the Joneses. They try to keep beyond. They try to go above and beyond the Joneses. And
Hmm.
those are not
Hmm.
the right women that you need to be with. And like you said, you're a smart man because you don't want to take on that debt. Uh-uh.
No. Mm-mm.
No,
Mm-mm.
brother. That's I that is just too much. That's too much debt for me. And see that's the thing with the Asian women. What I notice is that they manage their finances so much. Not all of them, because there's still a lot of Asian girls in the States who are having some pretty bad financial situations too. But there's a lot of them that are having good financial situations that because they always say, well, Asian in America, they don't want to go out with blacks, they just racist. No, they don't want to go out with some of them don't want to go out with blacks because they understand the black image is not good when you look at finances.
That's
That's what it
true.
is. They
That's true.
look at us and they're like, well, like my wife's friends and family, or her family knows, but her friends, these people we meet on in the clubs and whatnot, they don't even know that I'm a wealthy black man over here in Japan. They don't even know it because my wife doesn't flaunt. She doesn't talk about it. They don't know.
Mm.
When they
Mm.
drive up that ski resort area and they see me getting my house built on that hill and they see my name on the board, then they can be like, "Oh my God, is that so and so's husband?" You know, see, is that so and so's husband? And then my wife just like, "Oh yeah, we getting the house built." Oh, and that's the end of that. See, but I could never do that with the ABW because she'd be wanting, and then she'd be wanting more. Baby, where's
Yep.
my Mercedes? I need my Mercedes in that garage right when the house done, so I need to order it now. Like she's a Kardashian.
Yep. Yep. They lean heavy into that American consumerism in general. And I mean, with the situation that the Black community is in, I mean, we should be the least likely to lean into that heavy consumerism. I mean, we need to be focusing on being debt free, educated
Yes.
but still debt free, net worth at least neutral or positive. And we need to be
Yeah.
thinking about investing in the next generation, not, what's the latest purse that's coming out, you know, what's the next luxury car I'm going to buy, and all of these things. Yeah, no, I mean, it's not a good situation in our community.
No.
The and with the Asians, and with our white brothers and sisters, there's a lot of financial literacy
Yeah.
within circulating within those communities.
Yeah.
And so, they're like, whites and Asians in their teens and 20s, they're familiar with terms like Roth IRA and brokerage
Yes.
accounts,
Yep.
and stocks, and bonds and whatnot. Like, I had to learn about those things when I was in my mid 20s, because I just
Yeah.
I just didn't have people in my family that knew a lot about that stuff.
Yeah.
So
God
I can
knows me.
understand. Yeah, I can understand why some American Asians wouldn't want to get near us, because I mean, we're kind of behind in that
Yeah.
respect. We got to play catch up.
Yeah, because I give you an example too. Like when I first got to Seattle in '92, I got the Air Force, and it was hot, man. It was white woman heaven for brothers. I mean, brothers, the white where they were dating the white girls hard. Portland, Seattle, and so. But fast forward to 2005 when I moved back, which was roughly that was
20 years
about
ago.
20 years ago from that. But from '92, it was a big difference. What I actually, when I walked around the cities, I would see or drive around the city, I would see some brothers that were homeless that I used to see clubbing with the white girls. And what I noticed is that the average white girl is they go through a process, and I'm not trying to stereotype, like you said, the white brothers and sisters out there, but I'm just saying that they go through a process because they are a majority, so they will think the way majority people think, and they will when they're young, they're very curious. They want to see what this is like. Oh, what's that? I want to dab in this, dab in that. Oh, let me try a
Mm-hmm.
little black man, see what that's like. They want to
Mm-hmm.
dab in things, and then they may go as far as in their mid 20s dating brothers, and you may see a white woman Tupacing, hip hopping with the brother in the club, but that same white woman, 3 or 4 years later, will end up marrying Billy Bob, redneck,
Yep.
because Billy Bob's got a skill. He either is a plumber, an
Mm-hmm.
electrician,
Mm-hmm.
carpenter, who
Mm-hmm.
makes what you call recession proof money, because you
Yeah.
always going to need those skills. There's a lot of white boys out there who are not going to college. They're getting these high paying jobs. They start off working for somebody, and then you would, because I lived in Buckley, Washington, and my neighborhood was 98% white. And what I see, a lot of like big pickup trucks, 250s with names on the side, such and such plumbing, such and such carpentry, such and such
Mm-hmm.
associates, because these guys later get their own businesses off their skills, businesses
Mm-hmm.
that will last forever. So the white girls know that the brothers aren't necessarily aiming toward those type of things. The ones that stick with the brother, that's because they got enough in him to get him to do what he need to do for them, right?
Right.
But most of them end up, okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, girl, it's time for you to go get your Billy Bob. Yep, I can get my Billy Bob now. And they 25, they still young enough to get that Billy Bob. And then you turn around, you see them 3 years later, they got two kids, they kind of fat now, and you never would have thought that they would be listening to country western and they supporting Trump. So you're like, wow, this is a whole different setup from what you was back in the club days, and they don't even want to
Yep.
look at you, because they understand that the way the life is, you're gonna eventually need that man
Yep.
income
Yep.
to get your life started.
They have the larger picture up here. They have the larger
Yes.
picture up here.
Yeah.
And they're kind of, I want to say, their moms and their grandmothers are doing a good enough job to, getting them to focus long term when they know
Yeah.
they have to focus, especially when their SMV begins to peak and they're
Yes.
coming up on that period, that window where they're like, look, if I want to have 2 kids, I better strike
Yeah.
while the iron is hot.
Yeah.
Jamal may have been cool at 23, 24.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He may have been hip, it may have been fun, but I need a winner. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For the long haul. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to get with Jerry and his plumbing
Yeah.
business, or
Yeah.
Brad and his trucking business, or like you said, Todd and his carpentry business, or
Yeah.
Chad has a trust fund. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I get it. I mean, I think it's just logical. I
Yeah.
think it's just
It's
common.
logical. It's logical. It makes common sense because the thing is too is that, like you said, with that SMV, they know, and because they survive off of the boobs, because they know that's the king of their body is their boobs. They use their boobs to get whatever they want to get because they know that those things are gonna go south in their 30s. So they know in the 20s they gotta get that. They gotta get that man now while they, because it's not, people keep saying, oh, it's age don't matter. No, age does matter
Oh,
when
absolutely.
it comes to a female, because you have to get the right man to take care of you. And so another thing that I noticed about the because my friend Mufasa DT, who I thought was gonna be on the panel, he just got divorced from a white woman 3 years ago in Wisconsin. They have two
Mm,
beautiful kids. They're already like they're in college now. But
mm,
he was like saying how she just went south on him, how she just started getting like losing, like gaining weight and just not caring about her body anymore and just getting mad when he would talk about it. And
mm,
but what I try to tell him, I said, look, a lot of these white women don't like dealing with the brothers after a while. Either it's because you don't make enough money for them, or you're too smart for them. They're not
mm.
expecting a brother to be that intelligent. They don't want
Yep.
an intelligent black man. They want a black man
Mm,
that they can control. And I
yep.
know that in neighborhood where I lived in, what I used to see, my wife knows me. I'm very observant. And what I noticed about all my neighbors, who are mostly white, is the white boys were always out there working on something, doing something, things they didn't even have to
Mm,
do for the house, this, that, Home Depot, and they was doing everything. And on the weekends, they out there doing stuff. Me on the weekends, I'm doing little things, but I'm taking my family to Canada. We went like Eastern Washington, wherever we wanted to go, or trips. These guys don't go anywhere. They just like, okay, I gotta get this done, I gotta get this done. They always got something to get done because the AWM is not happy if her man is not doing nothing,
that's
because
true.
that's
That's
how
true.
they were raised. They see their father doing something all the time, their granddaddy was doing something all the time. To them, a man has to be useful to them. And that's the only men they want to deal with, men that are useful. They don't want to deal with a man that's not useful. So that's a big problem right there. That's why I tell brothers, if you're going to go out with an AWM, you better understand the game, and she better accept the fact that you're intelligent. If she can accept your intellect, then she's the right one for you. Some of them do, but most of them don't, and most of them know where to go shopping. So they're going to the breweries. They get 26 years old at that brewery. There go Billy Bob across the bar. Bam. And they tell their girlfriends, they high fiving. I got me one. I'm getting married next year. Yay, boom. They do that. You know, they do that. Billy Bob got a trust fund. He making over 102, $300,000 a year just on a little plumbing business. But plumbing pay good
Yep.
money.
Yep. And like you said, it's recession proof. It screams stability. they're going to be able to take care of, the typical 2.1 kids or whatever it is,
Yep.
afford a dog, and, maybe summer in Italy once a year.
Yep.
And as a brother, if you can't offer that, if you can't compete at that level and offer that, you're not going to be able to score them long term. You might be able to have fun with them, but you're not going to be able to score long term. And it's probably, I would imagine it's probably something similar with Asian women. Like you got to be able to compete at that level. If you're not competing, with the typical Asian guy who's in tech or in finance, and who can offer her the kind of life that she wants: house, 2 kids, dog, and vacationing in South Korea once a year or Vietnam once a year. Then again, you're not going to reel them in long term. You're just not.
Well, good thing you mentioned that about Asia, because in Japan, what's happening right now is, okay, so the average Japanese salary man, when they graduate from college, no matter what you
Mm,
studied in college, you're not gonna be doing that. So, like, if you study robotics, you're not gonna be doing robotics. You're gonna be doing salary man stuff. So
mm,
they get these jobs, and then they get this so-called employment for life, right? It's not as prevalent as it used to be, but they do get hired on out of college. My wife got hired on out of college before she turned them down because she's marrying me. But she got hired. Her salary would have been good because she had a college degree. So she's like, yeah, you're gonna get paid this. My wife's like, yeah, I'm happy. But then she told me, she said, sorry, but I'm getting married. I'm going back to the States. I'm going to the States. But for the men, they come out, they get their jobs, their salary is okay, but not good enough to purchase a home, right? Because they need to save up, right? So what
oh, okay.
happens is they won't start making any real money at their company until they're like almost 50. And then when they're 65 years old, they're forced to retire. So what's happening is a lot of men, a lot of women, younger women, are getting enticed by these older 50-year-old guys because they know that the guy can get them a house and everything
Mm,
that they want. And so, but here's the catch. The problem,
mm,
I mean, is that 50-year-old man, if he gets a 30-year-old mortgage at 50, when he's 65, he loses his job because he has to retire. He will never make the money that he made when he was working after he retires, no matter what. Even if he works part-time or whatever, he will never make that kind of money again in his life. And
ooh.
he will never make more money changing jobs. Most Japanese men, if they change companies, they will end up at a role and they will stay in that role. So their chance of making money more at that job are done because they already moved from another job. See? So the women know where who to accept. That's why they don't care about age in Japan. They know who to accept.
Okay.
My wife wasn't that way. Even though I'm 22 years older than my wife, but my wife didn't really we wasn't thinking about that when she came to the States, of course, because I was in America. But, now I get over here, now I'm starting to see, oh, there's a lot of couples like myself over here with an older man
Mm,
and younger wife with kids.
mm,
Because,
mm.
but only I got it better because I'm getting all this permanent investment income, and that guy got to worry about losing his money later on down the road when he loses his job. you know.
Mm,
So,
mm.
but the answer, but to get the to your point, in China, it's really bad because Chinese, they had the one child policy, so they got a
Oh,
ratio like um like 100 something million men to say 75 million women, that kind of ratio. And so men are having to stand on their hands and feet to get a wife. They got to spend big money to get married because there's not that many choices of women over there for these men. These
so there's
these
going to
women
be
that,
some men. There's going to be some men
huh?
that are going to be left without a wife.
Yes.
Then.
And that's why the women know that. That's why the women are like demanding everything. They had this 36-year-old Chinese woman tell these men, I want a millionaire, I need a car, I need this, you got to make this kind of money, and I'll marry you.
Mm.
And she was 36, way past her prime at
Can she even
36.
have 2, 3 kids at the? Without any difficulty? I mean, that sounds like an American woman. That sounds like an American woman's demands at 36. I want a millionaire, X, Y, Z.
Yeah. That's a hard sell because it's like you said, like my friend's going to the same thing. He's 27 years older than his wife, who I introduced him to, this Japanese lady. She's 30, she just turned 37 this month or last month. And she don't have any kids yet. They've been trying, but they can't have any kids. I'm thinking, dude, it might be kind of off track here because it's going to be kind of hard, So he's got something he's got to deal with on that. But that girl in China though, man, she's at 36. I'd like, okay, see you. You're 36 years old. Now, if you were 25, we might think about it, but you're 36.
It sounds like
So
they're gonna have to go to like maybe Southeast Asia if they want like a wife, more, more options, I guess, because I mean, that kind of ratio is just not, it's just not favorable. I mean, only the top, 15, 20% of guys are probably going to have their pick. And then, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. They're going to Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, and they're even courting European women because these women, they got a big problem where the European women are trying to learn Chinese. They get on an app and then they get tricked into, hey, okay, come to China. And then they get to China and the guy says, hey, actually, I want to marry you. And these girls ain't ready to marry in China, because these are rural men. These guys are rural. They live in the country, and so they want to get these women out there to work their butt off in that country life. That's what they want to do. And these women ain't down for that. So like my daughter, when it gets older, some Chinese, she said, "Hey, Daddy, this Chinese man when we marry him," I said, "No, I'm not going to accept that. I don't know nothing about the China. I don't accept that. No, you're gonna be right here in Japan. See." But let me ask you this, brother. So you, in your case, so when you're looking at these two South American countries, Colombia has been having some issues lately with the
That's
car.
true. That's true.
With
it has.
The kidnapping, right?
Yeah. The kidnapping.
Right. I know you don't want to do Portuguese, but Portuguese sound better than Spanish. You know that. It's more romantic sounding than Spanish.
It sounds a little bit more romantic, yeah. And the Brazilian woman, I mean, they're beautiful, they're feminine. They're just as beautiful and feminine as the Colombian woman. And the great thing about Brazil is that I'm not hearing any rumors of like any druggings, any kidnappings. So the way I'm gonna play it, because I'm also friends with a guy who's also gonna try Colombia with me. So I'm going to try it for 1 or 2 years. And, if it's not my cup of tea, I'll just move on over to Brazil. I'm a pragmatist. Like if something doesn't work after 2-3 years, I'm not going to force it. I'll just change strategies. I'll go down a different path. But yeah, I mean, I know Spanish pretty well. So that's kind of why I want to give it a shot. And I'm staying away from certain cities in Colombia. Like I'm not going to go to Medellin. Yeah, I'm not going to really go to Cartagena that much or Bogota. I'm going to go to one of the smaller towns and live in one of the nicer neighborhoods and just, see how it goes. And, if I don't feel safe, I'll just go to Brazil.
You like us coders, man, like IT, like, well, let me try this algorithm. It ain't gonna work. Okay, we're gonna go and do another deal. You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't working right there. Go ahead and cancel it out, Yeah.
Yeah. And also, speaking of like Japan and, possibly immersing myself in that culture, I hear there's like a Japanese Brazilian population in Sao Paulo. So, if I can't make it to Japan, the next best thing is to go to Sao Paulo and settle down there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to recommend. I was going to recommend Sao Paulo because, man, that place is off the chain from what I've been hearing. And I've been following it like when I was a kid. I used to look at these little books, and I was impressed because they had all these big buildings. Wow, Sao Paulo is such a big, busy place. But Theo said he was there. He really liked it. I don't know if you've seen Theo's thing on it. He said he liked it.
Oh, I know Theo. Yeah. No, he had nothing but glowing reviews about Sao Paulo. And I remember he was there for like 3 or 4 or 5 months. And Theo, his backstory. He speaks Japanese, so he found it very easy to connect with the Japanese Brazilians there. And I think one of his home bases is probably going to be in Brazil. So, Yeah, no, I mean, and with IP, he continuously pushes Japan, Japanese culture. I see you're living the dream. You're living what most brothers can, very much desire, but can only dream of living. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely willing to give it strong consideration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to tell the brothers, like you said, I'm living the dream. And I think the big reason why I'm living the dream is because, I've got over 11 years total in Japan. And my wife always says this to me. She says, you're pretty rare. She said, you're a rare black man over here in Japan because, I'm getting the house built. I don't know any other brothers getting the house built. I know some brothers who
You're a
own property,
unicorn. You're a
but yeah, I'm the
unicorn.
unicorn. And I know a couple brothers up the hill, 30 minutes from me, who own businesses and they bought existing homes or whatever. So I see those brothers up there, but those are rare brothers. But my wife is telling me that I'm the rarest because I don't have to work for what I'm doing. Number one, and number two, it's because I have solid established. Like my wife is a descendant of samurai, so I have solid connections here in Japan, especially local where we live. Her father is
Mm.
from the city that's behind me, this castle town, Joetsu City. So he's from here, but he left and went into the Japanese Air Self Defense Force when he was 18. And then his daddy and mama stayed because his father bought this land where we now own like 60 something years, back in 1963. So 61 years ago, he bought that land right down the street from where birthplace of skiing was in Japan. So it's in the foothills. I'm like, whoa, this is a nice. And ever since I started coming here, I liked it. Secretly, I was like, oh man, I like this little property here. But I didn't know what they wanted to do with it. And then later on, when I found out that he couldn't sell it, then I swooped in and said, I'm taking that. And he was crying on the phone because he was so happy that it was going to stay in the family. And so yeah, so I'm rare in the sense to where I was able to get those connections. But I also think that to help myself out, to give credit to myself, I recognized something when I saw it. I
Mm.
recognized something good because I could have been like I've seen a lot of brothers who had opportunities like that with Japanese women, but they just blew it because they didn't know what they were getting in. They didn't know how to recognize a good thing when they saw it. You know what I mean? I mean, when I met my wife, I wasn't planning on getting her daddy's land. I wasn't even thinking about her having anything really. I didn't really care because she's a girl, but she happens to be another thing that's lucky for me. She's the oldest daughter. They have two daughters, and she's the
Ah,
oldest. And so the oldest in the family is the one that usually inherits everything. So, so that means that if I were a Japanese man, I would have to change my name to my wife's maiden name, and then I would be the one that would take over all her father's stuff. Well, I don't have to do
interesting.
that. They're still letting me do that anyway because they love and respect me that much. Like we're gonna have the what they call the Butsudan, the family altar. Everyone in Japan has a family altar where they pay homage to the ancestors. That's gonna be in our new house. So my father-in-law was gonna pass that responsibility over to me and my wife. And then my little sister-in-law is gonna take his house that him and his wife, that him and my mother-in-law living in Niigata City. She's gonna get that property because he has two property. Well, he has that one now. So because we could have chose that one, but when I seen this one here and I like this town I'm in, I'm like, this is the one. You know. So yeah, I know I'm rare in that sense, but see, my thing is, I want to see more brothers over here living the dream because when I was in Toyama and I took my daughter on a day trip on a bullet train, just imagine you on the bullet train with your daughter taking a day trip just on the bullet. Most people can't even afford to get on the bullet train. I'm on the bullet train on the day trip, and I walk into this elevator with this white couple that was about mid 40s, and they see me with my daughter in the stroller, and they say, "You know how white Americans are always giving away too much information." They said, "We left our kids at home." Like maybe back in the States, right? And I was like, yeah, I left my son at home. He's playing soccer with my wife because he's got soccer games today, and we just took the train down from our home. And he said the first thing on their face, they were so shocked. He said, "You live here?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh,
I was like, "Yeah, I
I'd
live
love to
here."
see the look on their faces.
Oh my goodness, they were so shocked. And I said, yeah. And then he says, how do you like it? I said, I love it. You guys have a great night. And I went on to get my steak dinner. See, so that's I need to see more brothers like that. See, I need to see more brothers like that because my second great grandfather didn't escape slavery and join the Civil War for me to be living like a dummy. You know what I'm saying? Risk his life for me to turn around and shame his escape by living like a clown. No, that's why I live the way I live. But he also did it to help out the other brothers, as he said in this quote in the book I read on him. So my thing is too, I like to see all the brothers walking down the street with beautiful families and smiles on their faces and yo, what's up? What's up, man? I'll talk to you later. That's what I like to see. Because I know it can be done. I lived in Saudi
That's,
Arabia. I know it.
hmm?
I lived
So
in
you
Saudi
saw,
Arabia.
oh,
Yeah. I seen the respect between men. The respect amongst men was beautiful. It's like when
mhm,
another man speak to you and you speak to him, it's genuine. It's like they always say Assalamu alaikum. I wasn't Muslim, but the way they would say it, and you say Salaikum salam, my brother, how you doing? And they were like, brother, I'm good. How are you? How is your family, my brother? How are your family? And they really meant it. And I meant it. And I love that. That's what motivated me. I love that camaraderie amongst the men. Because as black men, we really do have that camaraderie, but we have had it broken up in the United States. And black men, we have older men who mentor us all the time. In Africa,
mhm.
villages, there's always an older men that mentor the younger men. You come to somebody and say, I'm thinking about marrying that girl. And they, oh, wait a minute. No, come on over, brother. No. Okay, here's why you don't want to marry her. Or here's why you want to marry her. Or here's what you need to do. And the women are doing the same thing with the women.
We had
See?
access to the
So
elders. We
that
had access
has
to the elders.
access to the elders that has been taken away from us. Because
Yep.
now you got black men like that brother that got killed on the train in shot in New York. The young brother just shot him. You know why? Because they don't value us as men because their women don't, their mama don't value us as men. So it's easy
Yep.
for a young blood to kill an older brother because he doesn't value any of us. Because he was taught not to value himself.
Yep.
So, but back in the day, brother was like, he wouldn't have shot the brother on the train. He was like, no, man, just get on out of here, man, or something. Or the brother would have been like, hey, what y'all doing? Oh man, they go Mr. Johnson. Okay, man, we cool. Hey, sorry, Mr. Johnson. That's how it was when I was growing up.
Yeah, no, and
Now
that's how my
they
father
will shoot Mr.
described it.
Johnson,
Yeah, no, that's how my father described
right?
it because I mean, yeah, he was born in about 58, right? So I mean, he, experienced the first 10 years of his life pre-civil rights era, but he remembers when our communities were whole. You had, great uncles, granduncles, grandfathers, just out in the street, looking out, watching out and holding younger black men accountable. You know what I mean? You still had black male figureheads and authority figures in the community. Yes, we were fighting Jim Crow and we were dealing with it. We were oppressed, to high heaven. But at the same time, like, the black male figurehead still held a a bit of prominence in the home. And we were held accountable.
Yep.
Nowadays, the black male patriarch, in the home is gone, is gone. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now, we grow up in these households where there is no black male presence. We the way that ABW interacts with the black male is to use, abuse, and disrespect. So
Yep.
that's how like young black men grow up viewing other young black men. Like I can remember just in the time that I grew up in, because I'm a millennial. Like you saw another brother on the street, you didn't know whether to trust him or not.
Yeah.
Maybe he
Yeah.
mean mugged you, or you mean mugged him, or whatever, or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
that camaraderie has kind of been broken, and we've had to like really put forth effort to kind of restore that between each other. And now I feel
Yeah.
like some of us are waking up and we're realizing we are all that we have. Like the brothers next to us and some of the older
Yeah.
brothers like us that are willing to pour into us and advise us and mentor us and tell us,
Yeah.
hey, don't participate in this nonsense. Get on your education, learn this trade, make your money, and don't don't give into a community that's just going to use, abuse, and rinse you like a rag and throw you away. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah.
And nothing I want to tell the brothers too is and I always tell it to my wife, but I can't say it to my son yet, but he's only 11. But brothers need to stop slinging their juice around like it's nothing, because
Yep.
that juice is very viable. Because look, I learned, because as a strong brother, I'm 6 foot, I keep myself shaped, and when I was even younger, the women would notice. So, but when women look at you, they look at a figure that's going to create their children, even though they may not want to have children with you. But the female anatomy, the way that that naturally, they're looking for a strong man, because they're thinking about strong man equals strong kids, right?
Yep.
That's what it
Yep.
is. So most brothers I know are pretty strong men. So, but yet they slinging that juice around like it's nothing. No, that juice is viable. That's why I tell brothers, put that boot on until you marry that woman, because the thing is that woman does not deserve what you can give to her if she's not treating you right. She does not. My wife, she deserves these 2 healthy children she got that I gave to her. My kids have no issues. She know, because I'm a man with no issues. See, and she's a woman with no issues. But those, I mean, it works both ways. The man got to look at the woman too. But what I'm trying to say though is, but men, they just throwing their juice around like, oh, I got 5 baby kids. No, that woman ain't worth you giving her that life. She's not worth that at all. And that's what I
That's
try
got
to
to
tell
be
brothers.
brothers' biggest. That's got to be the brothers' one of the biggest weaknesses that brothers have. I mean, we're careless with our seed. We don't
Yep.
practice, discipline, if you will.
No.
You
No.
gotta be disciplined. You gotta be disciplined, because I mean, if you're not disciplined, that's gonna get you with 1 or 2 baby mamas and child
Child
support,
support.
and then you're gonna be
Yep.
stuck. Then you're gonna be stuck. You don't want to be in that
Yep.
situation. No.
No.
Mm-mm.
No, because the thing is with that slinging that juice and stuff around, is that a lot of brothers got to understand that divorce payments ain't cheap, alimony
Mm-mm.
ain't cheap, and so you have to know, you have to be able to read the signs. And what I tell brothers is, and if brothers disagree with me on this, I know we're not trying to go there on the subject on this topic, but brothers disagree with me when I say, as opposed to you getting into a stressful relationship with a girlfriend you're only going to be with a few years and break up, it's better for you to invest your money and pay for your sex when you need it. Literally go out and pay for it and escort. There's nothing wrong with that. But America want to make it look like, oh, you're a stripper, you're ashamed of yourself. No. In China, in Japan, and a lot of these countries around the world, you see the average Chinese guy in the States. He ain't got a girlfriend yet. Why? Because he's building his wealth. But you think, oh, this man ain't getting nothing. Oh no, he getting plenty when he feels like it, because he will order him an escort. And I'm not talking about some cheap ass $20 hoe on the street. I'm talking
No.
about
Come on, one
you
of those
dial
high
it
end
up.
ones. One of those
Yeah,
high end ones.
one of
Yep.
those high end ones, because Theo and them was making all that money, and one of the guys said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be making 300." I said, "Well, wait, everybody's making this money, but why is nobody talking about the women that they were? Why are they waiting to go overseas?" I said, "Y'all can afford a woman in the States for sex," and they're like, "What? What are you talking about? I ain't gonna do that. That's stupid." No, brother, you can get the best escort services. American women may be horrible, but escort, if you pay for that, oh, you're gonna get
Oh,
what you get. You know what I mean? So
top. Problem.
I could go on vacation to Portland tomorrow or Seattle, wherever, and land in the city, and I'd be like, you know what? I need me a 19-year-old Ukrainian woman, and I want her to have big breasts, and she got to be about 5'8", and have her in my room. And boom, and everything is discreet. And she just shows up in my room. She's already paid. I already paid for the services already through their discreet services. They're not going to ever get my information out because they don't want to lose their clients. Because the kind of
Exactly.
clients they got was CNN, Wolf Blitz, all the people showing up doing the same damn thing. Hey, I'm
Hmm.
74-year-old Wolf Blitzer, but I need me a 25-year-old African woman. Because ain't no Jew gonna tell me he don't care about African because they love African women. So that's what
Oh,
he
they
gonna
do.
get. So I try to tell the brothers that, like you said, the thing about the D discipline is this: brothers are so glad they getting a piece that they forget the discipline because the system has been turned around on them. They're like, "Oh man, I'm getting ready." Like Tupac did a song, "I'm getting ready to get me some." But why why are you celebrating? You celebrating, acting like you glad you getting it, but that's not the way it really should be. You
No.
should be getting it when you choose, because you could be in a relationship with a female and going through drama and going out with her for 6 months, and you only had 6 days worth of sex
Yep.
because you've been dealing with the drama. When you've been looking for you've been looking for 5 months worth of sex, but you going out with six, and you only get 6 days.
And that
Where
person trade more. Trust me when I tell you that person trade more. They
yep,
paid more. They paid far, far
they
more.
pay way more, and they have way more drama, and they waste their time focusing on their investments. Because, like I told these brothers, I said, look, you don't need to get laid all the time. You just
No,
need to get laid good when you want to get laid. That's what it
exactly.
is. If
Exactly.
you said, no, I'm gonna teach when my son gets 18 or whatever, old enough for me to start, I'm gonna tell him, I said, look, you don't need to actually need a girlfriend if you don't have a girlfriend. You just need to go out there and pay for it once in a while. You don't need to pay for it every weekend. Okay, I paid in July. Next time, oh, it's August 25th. You know what? I feel like I want to get me a Somalian today. I think I feel like Somali. So just call them up. Your escort service. I need a 24-year-old Somali girl. Or next month you might be like, I'll just watch the World Cup. I think I need me a French. And you just call you know what I'm saying? And, I mean, these well-off guys, they ordering these women like they're a piece of steak.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
this the
Without a
market.
doubt. And there's
And the
no
market,
shame. There's no shame.
there's
You
no
notice like
shame.
the whole tricking conversation, that's only in the black community. And in the
Yeah,
white community, the Asian community, they're not having those conversations. They're not
right.
having those conversations, but their money is already on point. But we
Yep.
brothers, we're shaming each other about tricking, but yet we're the brokest. I mean,
Yep. With
make
the
that
bro.
make sense. I'm like, come on now. Come on now.
Yeah. You got baby mamas out there now. You got brothers
Yeah,
out there with all this debt because of baby mama drama. I'm like, dude, I said you could have paid so and so from Ukraine and you would have been done with her a couple hours later and you back to your business. And you
exactly.
have.
Exactly. Focus on your finances, focus on building your
Yep.
kingdom. And when the urge strikes, you can hire somebody. And then once
Yes.
that's done, you can go back to what you were doing. And
Yep.
then when you're ready to settle down and find a wife, then you can do that once you've established your kingdom.
Yeah, because what I
That's
tell brothers is one of the big reasons why it's an advantage to do that is because you're able to check different anatomies and you can settle on which one you like, which kind you like. Do you like them tall? Do some brothers might like them thick? Do you like the big bone, like the little bone? You like the petite? You like you pay for all these different experiences, and then in the end, you're like, you know what? Like for example, if you want a Ukrainian woman, which is right now one of the hottest wives out there, Ukraine, you get your 21-year-old Ukrainian, and then you might say, okay, I want to try a 31-year-old Ukrainian because you might be the kind of brother say, let me see how they age. How does a
Mm,
21-year-old Ukrainian compare to a 31-year-old or 41-year-old Ukrainian? Oh, I don't want them. How about, oh, they age well? I think I'm gonna be looking for that purpose. It's kind of a messed up. Some people think it's a messed up way of thinking, but it's business because you are going to be giving up your assets when you get
yep.
married. You are giving up your assets to that woman,
Yep.
whether no matter what, because
Yep.
one day when you move on, she's going to get all your assets. You have to be okay with that. See, so reason why I was asking you about your plan earlier is because I just wanted. You said you're mid-30s, so you obviously you're going to have a plan to where you going to have to start a family soon,
Right.
right?
That's the tricky part. I have to figure out. I feel like I mean, I know I have time because I'm young-ish, but at the same time, like, I'm not 20. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
know I'm very solid financially, very, very solid. I've been in tech for 8 years, corporate America, and they pay well, especially an educated
Pretty
brother
well.
with a few degrees in chemical engineering. So like I'm
Yes.
doing all right, but
Right.
I feel like I have all these choices, but I
Yeah.
don't have enough time. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to spend time in Colombia. I want to spend time in Brazil.
Yeah.
I'd like to spend time, in like a place like Japan.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't have enough time, and I feel like, you know, by the time I get around to it, I'll be maybe 42, 43. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess I shouldn't worry about like the age, because I mean, at least outside the U.S., most women are okay
Yeah, you
settling
don't
down.
have to worry about the age. But what I want to say though, but you don't want to get to the point to where you're like Theo's age. I think Theo's like 52, something like that now.
Right,
And Theo's okay because he was married before his wife died. But you don't want to get to be a 52-year-old man that never has been married. Because women tend to look at those type of men with suspicion.
right,
I don't know
right,
why. They look at it because my cousin's going through the same thing. He's like 52 now. He's never had a marriage. And the women, he's having a hard time dating. Women are looking at him like, you don't have any kids? You never been married? Well, why? That's unnatural, especially in the West. They're like, wait a minute, you haven't experienced. Basically, what they want to say is, you haven't experienced drama. Why? But
You're right.
but overseas though, with the women, they're like really like they would be looking at you like suspiciously, like, huh, how come you never been married before? You know
Yeah,
that because they don't
yeah.
understand a man being in his 50s, never having a family.
So what if you had to put a time limit on it? Maybe by, because I'm 36, so maybe
Yeah,
by 40, 45 at the latest. And I also don't want to be
yeah.
old with 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, because my energy is high now, but at 50, my energy is not going to be that.
No, you want to. I would say you want to look somewhere around the early 40s, no later than the early 40s. I
Okay.
know I married my wife when I was 45, and had previous marriage, but I divorced, and then I married my wife at 45. After meeting her, I met her when I was 43, married at 45, and then I had my son when I was 50. Right before I was getting ready to turn 51, we were trying to have a kid, and we just economically wasn't ready yet. Then once we got ready economically, then my wife says, "Hey, I'm pregnant." I said, "Great." And then I had my son, but then I didn't have my daughter till 9 years later, till I was like 50, 59, which I always
Oh,
tell my wife, I wish I was like, you know, at least 10 years younger before I had my kids. See, like I wish I had my son at 40 and my daughter at 49 instead of at 50 and 59, like you said, because I'm an energetic guy, but I know I would have way more energy 10 years ago with my kids, you know.
right.
And so, yeah, I would say I would recommend like no later than early 40s. Um,
Early
I
40s.
think you're on a good pace right now. But I think that what's holding you up is you need to get to those places you want to check out first.
Right, right. No, I agree. I agree. Yeah, no, and I don't want anyone looking at me like there's something wrong with me. I mean, because I mean, I really don't think there's.
No, there's nothing wrong. Like, are you the year of the dragon? Do you know your Chinese astrology? Are you year of the dragon? Is that what? Because you said you're
uh,
36 year or
yeah,
37.
87, 1987. That's my birth year. That might be year of the rabbit, maybe. I don't
Well, it
remember.
depends on what month you was born, though.
Oh, December
Okay,
87.
so that 87, that would be, if I'm not mistaken, the 87. Oh, yeah, 86 the tiger. So that means that would put you at the year of the rabbit. Yep, year of the rabbit. Some
Yeah.
countries call it year of the cat. Yeah. So year of the rabbit, year of the cat. Yeah. 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 Like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is the year of the rabbit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He was born in. And you got to know your Chinese astrology. So basically what I'm asking, because you got to know who you're compatible with.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Like me, I'm the year of the tiger. I am not compatible with the monkey or the ox at all. And I've been in relationships with monkeys and oxes, and it's been the worst nightmare of my life.
Oh,
So
okay.
you know how, yeah, we look at the Aquarius thing and that, but
Yeah.
I found the Chinese astrology is spot on. If you Google year of the rabbit and you read
Uh,
everything, you'd be like, oh shit, that's me.
really?
Yep.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. You will learn that you'll be like, oh man, yeah, I'm not, because you may have gone out with women in the past, and then if you can check their year and you'd be like, oh, that's why I couldn't stand that bitch, man, because she did this. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah,
So
yeah,
your wife does her birth year and month make her very compatible with you?
yeah. My wife is the year of the rat, so we're neutral. Neutral is good
Oh,
too.
so
Neutral is good too.
neutral. Okay,
Neutral or
so
compatible.
neutral or compatible.
Yeah,
Okay.
the ones you stay away from. There's usually only two out of the 12 years. There's 2 years that you should definitely stay away from, depending on which you are. Um, I know mine is the monkey and the ox, and three and the tiger. I shouldn't be with another tiger either, and because that won't work. Yeah, and they explain
It'll
to you
it's
why it
kind of like
won't
a
work. I
clash.
mean, it's crazy.
It's like a clash.
Yeah, the tigers. Yeah, we would be clashing for attention. The monkey is like jumping all over the place, and tigers don't like that. And the monkeys don't like the fact that the tiger is overly confident and that we're gonna do what we want to do no matter what. And then the ox is I'm way too much for the ox because the ox don't like my unpredictability. You know, my daughter is an ox, but she's not. I mean, she's my daughter, so that's cool. We ain't, I'm never gonna be in no relationship with my daughter. That's my daughter. She's an ox, but I noticed that people born a year the ox are really smart, like Obama. All my cousins, that the good black women in my family are oxes. They really treat me good, and they respect me, and I respect them. So I can tell they're very intelligent women and very successful. My in fact, my cousin who's the ox, she's a millionaire right now. She
Oh
retired a few
wow.
years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you gotta look at that. Look at that astrology, man. You gotta say, okay, am I compatible with this one? Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up. Yeah, because I mean, I didn't really give the horoscope stuff, the stars and the signs, much credence. But I mean, if from your personal experience, the Chinese astrology is a little more reliable. I'll definitely look it up and start asking some of these women, what year and what birth month they were born in.
Well, what's funny is I never asked. I've known this stuff so well that I can tell what people are. After yeah,
Oh wow.
I was in Tokyo in March, and I just met this girl on the street because I needed to get something to eat, and I was late at night. I was there by myself that whole trip, and I went to a concert, and it was like 11 at night, and I was trying to get me something to eat in Roppongi. And I walked up to her and I said, "Excuse me," I said, in Japanese, I said, "Is there a place I can eat? Maybe I'm missing something." She said, "Yeah." She said, "I'm actually going to find a place to eat too with my coworkers." So we ended up eating together. And so I told her, I said, "I bet you I can guess what year you are." And then I narrowed it down to two. And I said, "Okay, you're either the year to this or year to that. And I'm going to say you're the year of the dog." And she's like, "You are so right. How did you guess that?" See? Yep.
You're a pro
Yeah.
at this. Okay.
Yeah. I can tell after speaking to them for a few hours or whatever, I can pretty much tell what they are. And I even knew what the other guys were, the two guys she's with. So they were like, "Oh man, you're good at this." So that's what I'm saying. That stuff is real.
So you can read people very well. Okay. In general.
Yeah, yeah. I can read people. Like when you first came on, before you talked, I said, "This brother looks like a very intelligent brother. I know he's got his stuff together." And you fit the mold exactly. How you talk, and you're very articulate. So you go in places. I think for what I tell the brothers, because I know a lot of young intelligent brothers, man, and I tell them, you know, all you do is whatever you've done so far, stick to it. You've done good, you know, but just don't let the time get away from you.
Mm,
You have a lot of time, but you want to give yourself time to raise that family. You want that young wife because you can walk into
right.
Japan and get that 21-year-old easy, and she'll raise kids for you and everything. Because when they get to a certain age, they start getting a little bit too analytical. I don't like them too analytical. I like my wife. When I met her, she was 21. She was like gullible, like jovial. That's what I love in a woman,
Right.
because I need her
Right.
for me. I don't need the
And
woman
she
sitting there like looking around like, "Okay, so what you gonna do for me?" And or get the little roving eyes like a predator. I don't need those kind of women.
and
And
she
I tell
hasn't been
brothers,
scarred. She hasn't been scarred, hasn't been through a bunch of trauma and everything.
No,
And you
no.
know, she's just moldable, and she can get on board with your purpose. Yeah.
Yes. That's what you need, brother, because you don't know what it's like, brother. Maybe you might, but when you with these women overseas, man, and they're treating you like a king, and you like sitting there, because I remember when I worked for my wife, I was like, is this a trick? Because everything, I feel so comfortable with this woman, you know, and I knew I had nothing to worry about. And I was like, oh man, I never once thought about her cheating on me because since she would never do that. See, that's the kind of woman that you need. Somebody that you never even feel. I never felt insecure in my wife. I can honestly say, out of all the women I've been with, she's one of the few women that I've never felt insecure with. Never had to worry about nothing with. You know, I can go for a whole year and come back and she's okay, babe. What do you want to eat for dinner? That's that kind of woman. That's the kind of woman that every man should really have in the end. You know. The kind of woman that says, when you get older, I'm gonna wipe your ass to keep you clean. That's the kind of, and she ain't gonna even think about it. She's like, oh, that's my husband. That's what I gotta do. You know, that's the way it works. You know. So, like I said, you bring a lot to the table. Never forget your value, brother. You got a
Mm.
lot of value. Never, no matter what these women say in the West, you are high value male, you got value. And so you have to always carry yourself like you got value. Like when I go down the streets in Japan, these women know I got value. Because they're looking at me like, oh man. And you know what else they do? When they see you walking around with your kids and your wife, they respect you even more. Because to a Japanese person, you are a husband. That means you're able to financially manage your home. Yep.
So it's almost like a status symbol
Yeah.
to a degree.
I'm a
Yeah.
Goshujin. I'm a Goshujin. It's a status symbol. It is. It's a status symbol. They see me in these nice restaurants. You know, restaurants don't cost much in Japan, but still, not a lot of Japanese couples take their kids to restaurants like the ones I take my wife and kids to. And they're like, wow, he's just coming in here with his wife and kids and getting, you know, I've gone to restaurants and I've spent money on my whole, like my in-laws. I usually pay for everything because they're my in-laws. They used to pay for everything for me. I don't do it because they did it for me. I just do it because, hey, you're my family. That's the way I do it. And that's what I was going to tell brothers. That's not considered a black tax. That's money that you yourself have control over what you want to do with. That's what separates the black tax from the non-black tax. The black tax is money that you don't have control over. That's considered a black tax. You know, you probably gonna be
Amen.
the same way, right? You get married, you have a woman, you take a family out. Hey, don't worry, I got this. Hey, here you go. It's brother. It's so impressive when you slap that card. And I don't. My wife. I want to get a platinum, but my wife said, "No, you don't need a platinum." I said, "Oh, what the hell? Okay, I'll use my gold." I slapped the gold on there. The Japanese women's eyes light up like, "Oh my god, black man with a gold card."
I love to see it, man. I love to see it.
You
Like,
should come to Japan, brother. You need to be in Japan.
where do you recommend Tokyo or Okinawa or
Oh,
Osaka?
okay. Well, wherever you go, we're gonna hook up because that's what I do with brothers. I know DT's gonna come over here. He's gonna be here for a month in October, November. I'm gonna spend
Mm,
at least 2 weeks out of that month with him. We're gonna be going everywhere:
mm,
Fukuoka, Osaka, Tokyo. So, I recommend Tokyo, Osaka. You know, because those cities for a newbie to Japan, they're more familiar to you
okay.
at first, right? And you get there, you get your hotel hooked up. You just, I mean, brother, there's nothing better than walking out of your hotel in Japan. You looking good, you smelling good, you got money, and you walking down the street, you can do and buy, eat anything you want. That is a good feeling, brother. That's an off the plantation feeling right there. And nobody,
He's off the planet.
yes, off the plantation, and nobody's gonna bother you. You could be
So
walking down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning, going to get something to eat in Tokyo, and
mm,
nobody's gonna bother you. Nobody.
so I can
Nobody.
be there. I can be there in my suit with my watch on, with
Yep.
some single strap monks, single monks,
Yep.
looking, from head to toe, about $1,000 of merchandise on me. No one's gonna
Nobody's gonna
touch
bother you. I walk down
me.
the street, I walk around like this everywhere I go. Nobody bothers me. In fact, when I'm in Starbucks, I leave my phone, my bag with my wallet and everything in it on the table, and I go to the restroom and I come back. My stuff is still right there on the table.
Whew.
That's how safe Japan is. Yeah.
You can't do that in America. You cannot do that in America.
No, you cannot. And my stuff is right there. And it's like nobody they don't because they know black men are strong too. I mean, it's not just because I'm black, but just the part walking down the street by yourself thing. They not gonna mess with no black man. They're not gonna mess with anybody, especially a brother. Especially a brother. When they see us coming down there, they're not gonna touch us. So that's how I walk around. I'm like, hey, I walk past people like, yeah, I belong. What's going on? Hey, konnichiwa. Konnichiwa, motherfucker, is what I'm thinking in my head. Hey, what's going on?
All right, I might have to learn a little bit of Japanese too. I might have to. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, bro, I better let you go. I know you've been on this a while, but hey, I was gonna tell you, man. So yeah, if you are gonna come over to Japan anytime, let me know. Because all I do, brothers say, hey man, I'll be in Japan. I say, all right, I'll hook up. Where you gonna be at? Okay, boom. I'll go to hang out in Tokyo for a few days. Hang out with, show you around. That's what I do, man. I've met a lot of brothers on this platform. I've met Deshaun Bailey, who's over here living in Saitama. I've hooked up with this brother already. He's married now to a Thai Japanese lady, fine as hell. Got a nice little baby. Then DT's gonna be over here. I met up with him in Van City. Him and a couple brothers on the platform. He's gonna be over here in October, November for a month. Theo, in fact, is supposed to be here in November. I hope he sticks to his word because Theo. Sometimes Theo say I'll be there, and then you'll see him.
Because he's always teaching.
I know he's a busy man. But yeah, he said he's gonna be in Tokyo this November, so we're gonna hook up there. So yeah, man, that's because I ain't nothing to me. I just get on the Shinkansen, bam, and book my hotel. I tell my wife, hey, I'll be back in 3 days or whatever. And all she asks is, oh, where you staying? Oh, I'm gonna stay here. Okay, boom, that's it. I'm going.
Wow.
Ain't no drama. Yeah.
If you tried to do that over here in the States, you tried to tell your, an ABW or really any American woman that you're going off somewhere for 3 days, by yourself, to a hotel, and you're going to treat yourself and have a good time. They'd be like, oh, no, you're not going there. Oh, you taking me with you, blah, 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 blah.
Yep. or they go and fight you on the phone the whole time you're there to ruin your whole damn trip.
Yep.
Why you didn't call me at 12:05?
They're gonna think you're cheating. They're gonna think you're cheating or something.
I called you at 11:30 p.m. last night, and you didn't pick up the phone till 1 in the morning. What happened between 11:30 and 1 o'clock? Can the brother fall asleep? Yeah, man. They would never do that. That's what I love about being over here, man. They're not insecure. That's one thing I noticed about Japanese. They don't get insecure when you marry them. I don't know. The dating is a little bit different, but they don't get all bent out of shape, man, over stuff. If you got the funds to do it, then they by all means they could care less. I think a lot of guys in Japan have problems because they have to work for Japanese companies, which are stressful as hell.
Yeah, they don't have any work-life balance, is what I hear. None.
Zero. None. So I tell everybody over here, I said, yeah, I work. I tell them I run the bases. I can't. My wife told me, she said, you can't tell these people you retire because they'd be so jealous of you. Now, when I'm not, when I'm not in my hometown here living, then I'm in Tokyo. Yeah, I tell them all day long. Yeah, I'm retired. But when I'm in Joetsu, I got to tell them, oh yeah, I work for the government. I tell them I'm a director of software engineering here in Japan. Point a couple discrepancies I see on their crappy websites and say, yeah, this is what the problem is, and move on. Because they got crappy websites in Japan, trust me. Hey, they need some help. But no, brother, it's good having you up here, man. You gotta are you in the group? Are you in the BSP group? Because I don't know if you're in that group or not.
Is that like a Facebook group?
Yeah, it's a Facebook group. Yeah, I don't think you're in that group because I've never seen you in the group.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, I can join. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So if I search for it,
and prosperous.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
so
BSP.
It's pretty much the name of your YouTube channel. Okay.
It's BSP Blacks. Yeah, BSP. Black Sophisticated and Prosperous, and then I'm on there on Facebook just in case. I don't know if I have it set up to where only people that know about the group can find it. But oh, I don't know why this came out in capitals letters. Wait, let me just bring this back. Man, see, we put this up here. If I AI this thing, then I can get it right where I want to do. Black, sophisticated, and prosperous. So yeah, it's I put all kind of like right now. What I'm doing is I'm also with the brothers love. I'm putting up pictures of my house as it's getting built, and
Mhm.
sometimes I'll do videos on that too. And I'll do like sporadic videos on my Facebook page all the time. Like if I go somewhere and I got time, I'll always talk to brothers. Hey brothers, I want you guys to see what this looks like, man. Check this out. That's what I do. You know, the only problem I got with it, man, is the internet over here. When you go live, the internet is not the best in Japan. And I don't know if it's because my router. I mean, well, I know it's because of my router. I can't hook my router up to my second floor because I don't have the 3-prong in this old house to hook up another
Mhm.
router. But sometimes my carrier doesn't work like it should. So I'm not happy with the internet. I was spoiled to Seattle. It was so quick. Bam, 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 bam,
Yeah, super
Yeah.
fast. Super fast.
Super fast. Yep. So that's me, brother. You take it
All
easy,
right.
man.
You too.
I'm
You too.
sure
As always, it's a pleasure.
always a pleasure talking to you, brother. I'll see you out there, man. Like I said, let me know. Connect with me on that. I'm on. Oh yeah, I'm on the Facebook as a my name is in Japanese, so it's very yeah in Japanese. So yeah, that's my name up there on Facebook. You'll be yeah, it's gonna be you'll it's gonna be pretty easy. Yeah, Barry Tony. Yep, that's me, brother.
Cool. I'll
I'll
look you
talk
up
to
and
you.
add.
All right, brother. Be
I'll talk
safe.
to you later. You
Okay,
too.
brother. Right.
Bye bye.
Later. Bye.